Hello, and welcome to another episode. Sorry about this being so loud there. Another episode of the Palace Hall of the Dragon Queen campaign. This is episode 31, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I'm getting a nice nod from Super Sundry Girl. And we're very excited because last week we had some really big developers. We had a new player joining us, and this week we have another new player joining. So we're really boosting the party up. Before we couldn't get enough people. Now we've got so many. It's awesome. So first of all, we're going to just quickly go around the group to introduce ourselves. Then we're going to say a quick thank you to our guests, and we'll get started with the game. Okay, so can we go around the group, please?
We didn't roll for initiative.
Oh,
we should.
really? Initiative. Now.
Now.
Yeah, what did I
do
get?
it.
7.
I have
Oh.
an added.
Fitz, new character goes first.
Wow.
Wow,
Citrus,
Oh my god.
what's your dex modifier,
They're actually
Citrus?
rolling for initiative.
1.
Okay, so you go first. So you go before me.
This is brilliant.
How?
All right.
Alright, you guys do your thing.
Alright, since I am the first one from the look of it, I should go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, hello one and all. I'm the new player of the group. My name is Will. I've met these guys for a little bit here, and honestly, I'd love to meet all of you too. Extrovert extraordinaire at your service. The character I'm playing today, and the character I'd be playing for this entire session, in-game hopefully, is God damn it. Snapshell Pond Crusher, the Turtle Barbarian.
I love it.
Well,
Wonderful.
okay, next one.
Pedrick is next.
Yes.
Hey everybody, it's Kellum or Kevin. You guys know I've missed out last week, but I'm back. I'm playing the human war priest Pedrick. I'm ready to get it on. That's all I got to say today.
Feisty words.
Rogar.
Rogar.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to do Xander's camp. But, yes, I'm Will, our base of operations around the internet. Hi, you know me. And I play Rogar, the Red Dragonborn fighter.
Fantastic. I'm going to choose Titi to go next because it's the same initiative.
Well, technically, he should go first because he has a higher dex
technically,
mod.
Jack should go first. Jack's next. Sorry, Jack.
I got
Okay,
a
Jack.
7. I got skipped again. Hi.
Sorry.
I play the human wizard, Mavelin, who is old and crunky, just like my soul. Anyways, yeah, love playing with these guys. Hope this session will be good as last one. Maybe new plot developments. I see a new character, so let's see.
Okay. Titi.
Hello. I'm just a bear, and I play as TC, the Tiefling Artificer.
Okay. Engel.
Hi, I'm Sithis. Sithis plays. I am Engel, half-elf Battlemaster fighter with the glaive that's flavored as a partisan spear. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, Sithis, do you want to just let people know what you stream as well on Sithis Play?
Yeah, speaking of the stuff we were just talking about beforehand about anime and battleships, there's a new Azure Lane game out on console. I'm going to be playing that later tonight. You ever wonder what a ship would look like as a girl? It'll be on my stream tonight. Let me weave Valentine's Day. Woo!
You know, I never wondered, but I'm very curious.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Man, I've never seen Zero
And
Initiative.
yes, and now we have a familiar player with us, but someone who's been playing a different character today. And I'll explain why in a moment.
I wonder why.
Would you like me to introduce Vistra first?
Okay, so yes, give us a little lowdown on your current character, and actually we'll keep your character, your new character. We'll just give the name, and then we'll leave that little bit secret till you get to introduce yourself mid-game.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So I normally play a character called Vistra. She is a mountain dwarf rogue, arcane trickster level 4, wizard 1. She has since last session, changed from chaotic good to chaotic evil. She is also possessed by a cursed spear called Wrathbringer, and she's going to totally blame that for, murder hoboing Sweet Old Gnome,
Yeah.
who caught her stealing, and she refused to, she was like, how dare you, I would never do such a thing. I helped the old lady look for her spoons, which Vistra may have stolen, and
Allegedly.
allegedly, yeah, and
No evidence.
and then afterwards she got caught, and she was like, "Well, your food sucks," because she was given a vegetarian meal, and Vistra is no vegetarian, and and then ended up doing Toll the Dead on her, and then completely murdered her.
That would you
Yeah.
just need to eat your greens.
So she's on the
Okay,
run
and
at the moment.
yeah, so she's on the run at the moment, and your new character today will be named, and we'll get a proper description in a minute. Logan Wolf. Okay. Well, I'm going to just introduce myself. I am the dungeon master for this campaign. My name is Xander. You can call me this, or I'm also known as the Storm Meeple. And
Xanny.
I've been the DM for about 8 months now. We've been running this campaign for about 6 of those 8 months. It was a bit longer actually, nearly 7 months I think. And this game, I'm really, really enjoying it, loving it, guys. We haven't got very far in the story though. That's the only problem. Keep getting sidetracked and doing side missions and development missions. It is the mission of pretty much everyone in this game to try and break the DM whenever they can, and they seem to be. Yes, ham sandwiches seems to be one of the main vehicles by which they try to. It's been an absolute riot. The players some of the players may have changed, had to move on and to go to different games, or because they just don't have the time. Unfortunately, they can't play. But the core game is still continuing, and it's really, really good. And I'm so happy to welcome all the newer players again. Those of you who've been here with the 2-3 sessions, some of you haven't been here. This is your first session. Thank you so much, and we're going to continue with the game. So, before we begin, just before we give a very quick recap, I just want to give a very quick shout out to some of our sponsors and to some of our subscribers. We have Tony Madi, who's been with us since the beginning. Absolutely amazing guy. See his stuff on Instagram, YouTube, everything. I think is it Instagram and Twitter. He's got a Twitter account as well.
Yep, Instagram,
Absolutely
Twitter.
brilliant.
Oh yeah, he's got Twitter, yeah.
Brilliant stuff. I really look forward to seeing his updates because he always has something great on the go. We've got our very own base of operations, Will, who's one of our subscribers, as well as Kellen. Thank you so much. And you're one of us, but thank you so much for the support for the channel. And we also have some support from some other guys. We've got Kai, who's one of our subs, and also Kelvin. Who is please remind me, is he a subscriber or a sub?
He's
Kelvin
subscribed to the channel.
was a sub as
he was a
well
sub.
as Kai. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for my. I apologize. I do try to keep up to date, but I've had a very busy couple of weeks at work, and I've been a little bit out of touch with the channel recently. But I still try and make it for every game if I can, and try and get my preparation done for every game. So that's that. Hopefully that
You're a
plays
good
in my
boy.
favor.
Good boy, babe.
Okay, so a little recap of what happened in the last session. We began the session by returning from the sewers beneath the city of El Terrell, where our intrepid adventurers have been engaged in a quest to recover some missing children that had been captured and were being initiated into an order of were-rats that were living underneath the city. Having defeated this ogroid monstrosity of a rat creature and its master, a were-seer known as Tanqual. Sorry, I'm not going to say Thankwall because that's probably a copyright thing. So it's Tanqual. Totally Tankwall. And you managed to defeat them. You managed to rescue the individual children, except for one who unfortunately had undergone such terrible mutation and changes that he wasn't able to be. One of the other children was very badly wounded, but Pedrick managed to keep her stabilized until they were able to get up to the surface, where she was healed by Serena Starbright, who is a member of the Light Blade. The Light Blades are a Templar order in Elturel. They are the leaders of the Pilgrims and the Supplicants, which is a kind of holy militia, which patrol the streets of the city. And are basically members of something called the Order, which is a sort of a governing militaristic body in Elturel, which is allied to the theocracy, the throne of Elturgard. And basically, after returning up from the sewers, you managed to go and see Serena Starbright. You had to go through a guard called Nobby, Cecil Nobby, who took you to the took you to his leader. He had been accused of stealing coppers from the Widows and Orphans Fund, of which Vistra then liberated him of those coppers and ended up giving them over to Serena Starbright as for the Widows and Orphans, making it seem like she was the one giving the contribution. You handed over the children to the care of the children to the care of the Order.
Sounds fine to me.
Each of the children have been infected by the were.
Sorry, darling,
Yes?
you're roboting a little bit.
Oh, for everyone
What?
else.
Sounds fine to
Oh,
me.
and base.
Yeah.
And base was. Oh,
That's
okay,
your
so
end
it's
then.
my end.
It's
Alright.
your.
Yeah.
As you were.
Did I disappear? Or am I okay?
No, you're okay.
No, I think you're okay. It was just on my end.
Okay. So where was I? Where I was for technical difficulties. Yes. So you handed over the children to the care of the Order. They had been infected by the curse, this were-rat curse, and they have each of them has about 9 days until the next full moon before they'll be fully affected. This is how I play Lycanthropy. They don't actually transform the next full moon. She said that she'll be able to scrounge up the funds to save 2 of them. But the rest require your aid, and there are another 4 that you have to. There are another 3 that you have to do for that, as well as, of course, Vistra, who had been infected, as well as Copernicus, your lovely, faithful kobold sorcerer companion. Serena Starbright also thanked you for your help. She said that she would be able to help you remove the curse from these children and from your own party members, but she would require some funds. In total, it will come to about 1,200 gold in order to save everyone. However, you did manage to cash or treasure while you were down there, and she as a thank you, provided you with some extra items. You received a ring, which Mevelin was able to identify as a ring of mind warding, and it is currently in his possession.
Oh, it's in mine.
Also, is it? Sorry, is it in yours?
It's in Teetsy's.
Okay, sorry, it's in Teetsy's possession. Sorry. And also you received a strange bag, which seems to be empty and has some magical properties. I'm not sure what they are at this point in time. You also, from your fights with the wizard, you found a stick of some kind with magical properties, and you also found a. Where is it? That's not right. That's not right. Where is my information? Where has it gone? And you found a wrapped up scroll. After that, you decided that you needed a bath and a shower, and you needed a bit of relaxation. Your party separated. Vistra went one way, the rest went back to the pair of Black Ant. We did a sort of a cut to one scene where Vistra, as she just explained, trying to steal from the cash register got caught, managed to talk her way out of being prosecuted, walked to the door, turned around, and blew the head off a poor, defenseless old gnome lady, using Toll the Dead, and rolled a 12 on her 1d12 damage and managed to kill the commoner. And then ended up on the run. She was noticed by the guards, but she managed to elude them and cast disguise self. But she is now currently on the run, and the hue and cry has been up. While this was happening, our other players were having a lovely, relaxing bath in the bathhouse. The men on one side, women on the other, and they had some conversations, a little bit of role play where they got to know each other a little bit better. And they're currently sitting in the pair of black antlers. They were given some different. Was it who was it who got the different pomades and scent from Morton?
That
Who
would
was
be the
that?
tiefling.
That would be me.
That would be
Yeah.
Tsitsi. Yeah. So Tsitsi, you were able to buy amounts of different sort of scents and pomades and things to make yourself smell nicer while you were getting cleaned up from being in the sewers for about 4 days. And yes, and we ended the session with the hue and cry going. The noise that has come into being through the open doorway as Crunk came in to notify you, one of the members of the Order of the Gauntlet, and he was a favoured arm wrestling companion of Rogar, and one lot of respect from him for being defeated by Crunk. Crunk was defeated by Rogar in an arm competition. He came in and he notified you that someone has killed the proprietress of the Gnome Suite Gnome, and that the culprit was a dwarf and that she was run. The hullabaloo from outside, the absolute noise, clamor, you can hear screaming, running from to and fro around the building. This is not an upper class area, but it is a well protected area. It's got a very powerful order of militant paladins keeping their base in this area. People here are not used to crime and murder being the day-to-day current. The sound is absolutely just horrific outside, and you can and suddenly from the corner of the pair of black antlers, what you had all mistaken for a decorative ottoman that seems to be made out of some sort of hard substance currently has several drips. Start to stir, and
May I play this out?
from within this? Yes, of course. From it starts to stir and to come to life.
Shaking and stirring, almost just like a Pokeball, really. This shell finally shaking loose from the bounds and contrary of all the little knickknacks that was placed on it, the drinks, some spilling off its side. Something opens up in the front, immediately followed by, "All right, where the 9 hells did I fall asleep this time?" And slowly first the tip pops out, and then suddenly, pop! A big old head. He looks up, he looks around, and proceeds to scream.
As this screaming goes out, standing nearby him, the barmaid Maria, she clearing away drinks and polishing the tables. She lets out an ear-piercing scream as well as this thing which she assumed was a table of some sort of has actually come to life in front of her. So she proceeds to scream at you as well.
Rogar jumps up, grabs his warhammer and his shield, and he stands ready.
Oh, an unexpected guest, I guess.
Wait, she works here. Wouldn't she know what furniture belongs where?
Yeah, she thought it was a new table.
She's, oh my god, the table's come to life. It's brand new. We bought it. I mean, what happened? We bought it off a gnomish trader.
I hope you saved the receipt.
As Kirk says, "I'm not a table, you stupid coat. As slowly he begins to he stirs. More opens up in a shell as his arms, massive and bulky, pop out as he begins to lift himself up and shake the rest of the drinks off. And then
Oh
his
my
legs pop
God,
out,
those
not as
drinks.
equally as big.
Maria stands there. She's aghast. She's looking at you aghast. You basically you're much bigger now that you're standing on 2 feet than of course you were when you were lying down yourself. From behind the bar, there's a thump as Morton the bartender's eyes roll up in his head, faints dead away onto the ground behind the bar.
You take one nap in a lake, it gets cold, and then you wake up in a tavern being used as a table.
Maria turns to you. Our lovely adventurer. What are you do? What are you waiting for? It's a monster! Help!
No, he seems friendly. He hasn't attacked anyone yet. Shush. Be friendly.
Did you just shush me, old man? Did you shush me, old man?
Hello.
Not shush
He
me
looks
in my
over his
tavern.
says, "Listen to your elders."
Yes, see? He's wiser than you. Hello, my name is Mevelin. And I cast Mage Hand to shake his hand because I have a frail hand and I don't want to give him my own hand.
He looks down at this ghostly appendage, and with his big old turtley hand that's pretty much the size of a small gnome child, he then shakes it as well, completely encapturing his character. Says, "Yeah, they're called me Snapshell. Who are?" And looks at the rest of it. "Who are you?"
Well,
Rogar lowers his puts his warhammer away, holds out his arm. I'm Rogar.
You're pretty simple, aren't you?
You what? Sorry.
The character looks at us and says, "You're pretty simple, aren't you?"
I'm not sure how to respond to that.
Oh my god, Rogar, quiet? Wow.
Okay, Maria looks over. She's completely lost it at this point. She storms over to the bar top. She takes a rag from around her, that's hanging from the apron around her waist, and she throws it over the side. It lands on Water's face as he sits there, just absolutely out cold. She's like, "That's it. I've had it. I've had it. I've put up with the drunken laugh, with the paladin, with people being thrown out the window on a daily basis. I've even put up with Arthur Froome, for God's sakes, that lecherous cad. But no, I've had it now. When the furniture comes to life, that's when you know that this place, it's gone to the dogs. I'm out of here." And she just
Well, that's says, "All right.
leaves.
For one instance, I am not furniture, and you essentially bought me into slavery, so that's a crime. And two, if you really need a table, I can help you make one. So calm down and sit down, have a drink, and we can all talk about it. I'm a civilized person."
She's already
Pedrick
out the
just-
door. She's stormed out. It's been too much. She's been
He
working the pair of
huffs.
black antlers for she's only been working the pair for 3 weeks. Okay, this is enough. She's had enough.
He huffs with
and
little
she-
steam clouds coming out of his nose.
Pedrick just shrugs and says, "Somebody threw a carrot in its mouth. All the screaming is ruining my ale."
Oh,
Speaking of,
So
That's
Pedrick, by the way, has been there. Pedrick has been very quiet for pretty much the last 4 or 5 hours. And suddenly seems to be stirring into life.
so Rogar's gonna look around. He goes, "I would love to chew the fat with this turtle fellow, but didn't Kronk just come in and yell that somebody had been murdered?"
oh, yes.
So, where was your dwarven friend staying again?
Who, Vistra?
Yes.
I do not think Vistra would sink so low as to murder. She.
Well, I mean, she's got the cursed spear, and I don't know.
This one says, "Dwarves are hardy fellows. I should know. I've met a couple thousand of them. They're really nice. You can't really find an evil one out of the bunch."
No,
Well,
I mean, Vistra's rough around the edges, but I mean, She knows where to draw the line.
Or rough around the edges plus curse equals potential murderer.
Well, but it seems like the stuff only at specific times would
Yeah.
activate.
I mean, she stabbed
Crunk,
me.
Crunk looks over at where you're all having a conversation. He goes, I better let the boss know. Starts up, stalk up the stairs.
Perhaps we should.
Towards,
Crunk, where was it again? Where was this murder took place?
it's the if you follow the river down the wharf and you head it's about 5-6 blocks down. There's a gnome suite. Gnome is normally frequented by gnome patrons and dwarfs as well. Halfling. There's people with shorter persuasion. Really, I could barely get in through the doorway. But yeah, I mean, apparently there was a vicious attack there. The place is a charnel house. There's apparently, from what I hear, the person who the suspect in question basically blew up her head, blew up poor old Gertrude's head. Gertrude, she's a sweet old lady. She's been that place for years. I mean, she often meets with some of us in the market. She runs a hole down there every 7 days or so. Market days. Has a cousin who works outside the city. Sells weird elixirs, glimmer scale. Yeah, all I heard was what some of the guards told me as I ran by. I'm supposed to inform Onthar these developments and see whether we can get some more feet on the street looking for this cope. I gotta go.
That's because hold on there. You said there's a murder mystery going. It sounds like they might be some of them finger fancy folk. Hold on, let me find my mallet. It's essentially my brother. As he pops his arm into his shell, you hear rumbling around in there, like some glass crackling about. He pulls out a bag. No. Pulls his arm back in. And then with that, he begins to pull off this long pole with his arm. And at the end of the tip seems to be a shell almost like his, but smaller. Wrapped around, it's like, there we are.
Seems like we have a new friend. Perhaps the rest of us, we should all go and finish our drink. Finish your drink quickly, Pedrick.
Pedrick shaking his head, takes another big drink. Doesn't even really know how to react to this turtle.
Ingle finishes her tea, and she's gonna stand up and she's gonna say, "Well, it's nice to meet you, new friend. I'm Ingle, and I hope we all get along well and help save more lives together."
I just want to fix my dog.
Yeah.
She wasn't. Poor Artificer hasn't had any downtime to fit dog yet. This is the problem.
Raising Rez, because fix your dog. Does he have a pee problem?
No,
Points to the chunk of metal.
It's in the bag of holding, and I'll pull out just a part of the. I'll reach in and I'll pull out a mangled leg of a dog, of a metal dog, and I'll go. I will help you fix this later.
No, I've got it.
Giving a stare at the cleric says, "Sir, that's important. I don't think you need just a cleric to fix your dog."
Yeah,
All
they
right,
need
I'll help you out.
They need either a veterinarian or a mechanic. I'm not sure.
Either way, we have a murderer to hunt down and bring to justice.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
I swear, if it's the...
To the gnome, sweet gnome.
I swear, if it was that dwarf keeping me from fixing my dog, I'm gonna be rather crossed.
Oh,
Yeah, on the way there, maybe we can find Vistra.
Yeah, and if we find out it has been Vistra who's done this, she has crossed the line.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, there's always a second chance, and there's always could be a reason why she did it. You said she had a cursed spear, right?
Well,
Cursed spears usually mean evil.
well,
Well,
we
you
did find
guys don't really know spear. You know it's a spear that makes her act strangely. You know that
I do.
Yeah.
it's a spear
Well,
that
I
it
held that
makes you
spear.
feel.
We haven't had a
Meveline
chance to look at
Meveline
it.
knows. Yeah,
I have
I
held
know.
that. I have held that spear. It's not good, and she did stab me just a few hours ago.
Yes.
She tried to. She did like 2 damage to you.
While his little turtle legs begin to move rather oddly fast for a turtle of his size, he gets up to you guys as the character says, "Well then, it sounds like it's the spear. We just need to hold her down and take the thing away."
Well,
I
here's the
hope it's that
problem.
easy.
Because we found out that the person involved who got killed, her head exploded. I don't think a spear can do that.
You'll be surprised.
Okay, you know, I'll be surprised.
The
I mean,
turtle
to roll
looks
a crit.
around. The turtle looks around a quick bit, seeing if there's anyone else around. And he looks like this. We could always say a wizard did it.
Well, look at me. How am I supposed to kill anybody?
You're
That's
around
good.
by
It looks
yourself.
From outside, you're starting to see there's a greater. You can see more and more people are outside that are actually dressed in pilgrim and supplicant outfits. So the basic chainmail and tabard, sunburst over a graffiti on a white tabard. There seems to be a greater militia presence in the streets. You can also hear from outside that there seems to be a number of bells sort of like being rung at different parts of the city as the search slowly spreads outwards from the harbour district.
It sounds like the city's awake. Let's go and see what we can see, shall we?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, you make your way through the streets. Very different Elturel to the one that you've been living in so far. The streets are the streets are actually quite dead. It seems like most of the law-abiding citizens decide to stay inside. Yes, you have had your short rest in the bath. Sorry. And so it seems like most citizenry have been put inside. I've decided to stay inside at time. Every now and then you catch a glimpse of male figures sort of rushing between the alleyways. Remember, even though it is evening now, it is bathed in. It is still bathed in light. It's basically under the spotlight at all times because it's bathed in the light of the faith of those who live in the city. And as you pass down the harbour way, as you're getting closer to the Gnome Suite Gnome, you can see a greater presence, a greater militia presence that seems to be congregating there, and also you can see that there's a very large crowd of individuals that seems to be gathered around this. Mainly men. There's a number of women there as well, but it seems like there's a large number. Commoner folk. Some of them wearing very different varieties of garbs. You've got sailors. You've got people who look like sailors there. You've got people who look like they might be merchants, caravan guards, and they're all gathering around. And outside, you can see there is an individual. He wears an outfit quite similar to that of Serena. He does not have the golden sword icon that would indicate that he is a light blade, but he seems to be with his tone of voice. He is currently he's currently standing on the front steps that lead up towards this rather quaint-looking tavern building. Tavern-like building. There's a nice sort of wooden sign outside that swings from a bar. On there, you can see a rocking chair and a bundle of sort of knitting with needles and balls. It swings. It's very beautifully painted pastels, and around it in very sort of cursive writing, you can see the words in common: gnome, sweet gnome, and the gnome, sweet gnome. Is flung open, and you can see you can't really see particularly well through the crowd, but you can see that the doorway is open and that a light blazes in the building. And as you approach, you can start to hear the voice of the man outside. He seems to be trying to direct away some of these individuals who crowded around the gnome suite. Basically, people are yelling from the crowd. Sort of a small gnomish man screaming up at him, And what are you doing? What are you doing to protect us? We're all going to be murdered in our bed. How could someone harm poor Gertrude like that? You all know Gertrude. We know Gertrude. Yeah, she was good to me. She was like a grandmother to my kid. And the guys there, he's going, Mr. Cobblepot. I made that name up. I'm sorry. You're winging that bit.
Very gnomish name.
The name, Mr. Cobblepot. I understand your concerns, but believe me, the order is on the case here. We have officers scouring the street. None can hide in El Terrell. The light of the faith not allow sinners to hide in the shadows. We will find them. We have many boots on the ground. We have sent for help to other religious orders within the city. We have the Gauntlet is being notified as we speak, and soon their paladins will be scouring the back alleys to bring this miscreant to justice. All I ask is that any able-bodied men who are willing to serve under my office, if they group up into teams of 4 or 5 and allow themselves to be directed to different parts of the city, that we can slowly extend the search grid, and we will find this person, bring them in. None shall escape the justice of the order. Okay, and so this is what you hear. You sort of going. The crowd seems to be a little bit. It seems a little bit more. There's still a lot of unhappy grumbling and mumbling going throughout, but it seems like this individual, or at least the order that he represents, is well respected to command a little bit of respect, to command a little bit of patience. Crowd.
I'm just gonna note through the crowd of the stall, just his old man voice speaks out. Well, this is a pickle.
Pedrick says to Rogar, he says, Rogar, if this was Mistress or Vistra, you know as well as I do, this is a waste of time. Hell, half the time I couldn't even see the wee lass when she was standing next to me fighting.
Rogar's going to stand up to his full 7-foot height, and he's going to yell across the crowd to the guy at the gnome suite gnome. And he yells out, "If you're looking for able-bodied people for help, you've got a handful of them right here."
He looks over and says, "Why are you lumping me into you?" All right.
I didn't realize you came with us, to be fair.
So the individual, he looks the individual at the front. He looks up and he sees you in the crowd. Yeah. I believe that you have just you and your gang of adventurers are staying at the Pair of Black Antlers, if I remember correctly. My superior mentioned that someone was doing a job, our order, and had recently returned successfully. Of course, it was an off-the-books mission, but at the same time, of course, any help that you can give us will be well received. My name is Supplicant Major Visit, and you can actually what I'd like you to do. Crowd, I will be able to give you some direct orders and directions myself. From what I understand, you are capable enough, and we could use the help.
My character's just gonna stand in the background of this group getting talked to as his head just like pokes up higher over his shell, just like the mouth pointing up with his eyes looking down.
Turtle.
How are you, may I ask how you're narrowing down your searches?
So can you say that again?
yell out to him
sorry.
as how are you narrowing down your searches? Have you got any evidence, any witnesses? What are we looking for?
Is it just a dwarf? Do you know gender, age, anything else distinguishing
Quickly
feature?
looks over, is like, as my character's just like, he was thinking over a moment, but hearing like your character even start talking about that and hearing about how she's been known to be very discreet, quickly trying to kind of hush your character's like, all right, Sonny, look over here, all of you look over here. I have something to say real quick.
Wait, hold on, Turtle. Like, did she have a big spear on her back, maybe?
He face palms.
You seem to know an awful lot about investigations, son.
No, we're just asking questions.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out who you're looking for. I mean, you say go out looking for a dwarf. I
think you
mean,
and
I could find you
I
one
think that we
easily.
need to. I think we need to have a talk. I need a.
He
I
slams
would like you
both
to come
hands
to
in
the
his
front,
face.
please.
Oh, we're getting called up to the principal's office.
Everyone else, if you could please disperse and find yourself. And if you could find yourselves to, if you are willing to help us search, you could find yourselves to one of my men. They will organize you for, and we will expand our search path. This group, yes, with the large dragon, if you could please come to the front of the crowd, and if you could join me in the Gnome Suite Gnome in the foyer, I believe that we have some to discuss.
Is the corpse still there?
Well, you don't know until you get inside, did you?
My character's just gonna look and just the most disappointed grandpa look at everyone right now.
Hey, it's how we roll, man. Just keep it all inside.
I'm going
I'm
to
not
just say
sure if
something
all
to the
you are
crowd right
idiots.
now. Don't know in the Dungeons and Dragons universe, but because I love turtles and I think that they really should be allowed to live much longer. Turtles have a gnomish lifespan in my universe. So in this actual case, Mevelin is younger than the turtle that we're
Still young.
Oh,
We
He's
have
2
two
years
old
old.
men, and one is basically by turtle stat.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Getting outlasted here.
Okay, so the individual is standing there. He's awaiting your approach.
Yes.
You can see that he's sort of making a gesture behind you. Two quite large burly guards are sort of moving to block any attempts you could make to return back down the harbour, down the harbour way.
Rogar's just gonna walk straight in.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, my character follows.
Okay.
We're in.
All right. So as you enter the Gnome Suite Gnome, you're struck by a couple of things. First, the Gnome Suite Gnome is you tell that it's a very homely place. There was a lot of there's a lovely cozy atmosphere. The floors are carpeted. The wood paneling is beautifully finished with decorative there's another lovely flower sort of vases around the room with lots of different, which must have held different types of flowers and made a very beautiful fragrance fill the room. There's a very cozy looking fireplace just through the foyer. You can see it's still crackling quite merrily, although you might notice it seems a little bit low at this point. And you also notice one more thing: the overpowering stench of blood. You're currently standing in the foyer of the Gnome Suite. You're currently standing in the foyer of the Gnome Suite Gnome, and down towards the far end of the hallway, where an individual before their body's removal must have been standing. There is a large spray of brownish red, which seems to be coating the wall behind. It seems to be shooting upwards, like it was from an arterial blow. And spraying the wall all around it. The sergeant, the supplicant major, he gestures to you, and he just through a small door, which is to the right hand side of the foyer. And as some of you would have to crouch to sort of enter. Rogar, you're going to have sort of like even the human, who's only about 6 foot, he actually needs to stoop as well to get his way through the door. So
Alright.
any of you over 6 feet are going to any of you about 5'5" are going to stoop forward under the doorway.
Well,
Am I the
you know,
only one who can make it through without having to crouch?
Actually, well, that being said, as my character walks to the door, not only does he crouch, he still bumps into the sides of the door because of how wide he is.
Yeah, probably, yes,
And,
actually.
and so
So
the side.
you all come through it. You come through except Total, who basically you hear a
Just,
sort of forces his shells.
Just come in sideways.
Perhaps this wasn't such a good idea.
I'm wider sideways, you don't.
He's like a D shape.
As he begins to try to like push it, he just sucks his arms in. The hammer drops to the ground. He walks through the door and then he pops his arms back up and drags his weapon through the door and puts it on his back.
Well, that seems handy.
So as you enter, you see that there are large, not quite sofas. These are wooden chairs that are covered with sort of padded sort of crochet pads stuffed with wool. So he sort of you can see that the supplicant major is standing there, and he gestures to you to take a seat in front of him as he sort of settles into a hard back wooden chair, which is facing towards these different chairs.
We're gonna look at him and go, "Are you really sure you want me to sit down on one of these wooden chairs?"
He looks up at you, sort of wearing your heavy. And
perhaps I'll stand.
He says, "You may stand if you wish."
Pedrick just takes a seat on the floor. He doesn't even try the stool. He just sits down.
I take the chair. Like I take the chair immediately. Like,
Oh, one for the old man. Yes.
My character looks behind himself, his tail's dragging on the ground, his shell being big. He looks like says, "I'll stand."
Angle will take a chair.
Oh, I see.
So he looks over at you as you will settle yourselves down, or at least stand more comfortably, and he sort of steeples his finger in front of his face like this, his hands or arms on the chair rest, and looks over at you. He looks over at you. So, from what I was able to gather outside, I was aware of several details that we have not made known to the general public. And what I'd like to know is how you came by those details.
I'm sorry. Every time you say the word "no," I hear gnome. I'm saying that in character, by the way.
Yeah, as
Point
the
first.
as the
Point
lieutenant's
first.
saying this, my character's just slowly sighing to himself.
No, listen, I think you
Point
misunderstood.
the first. You are aware that the person in question was a dwarfish female. Point the second, that she was seen to be carrying a rather dangerous-looking spear or staff on her back, and also that she was she was sort of a shifty disposition. What I gather from what your friends were mumbling to one another in the back. It may not look like it, but he like moved his helmet to the side. You can see his ears are pointed. Underneath his helmet, he says, "I have my own special talents, and I'm going to give you the opportunity now. I don't wish to jump to any conclusions, of course. You've come forth and you've spoken to me of your own accord, but I would like you to explain to me how you came by these talents. Let's talk about this in a friendly, open atmosphere."
I think you may have misunderstood our intent in declaring in our speaking. We know a dwarvish female, and we were hoping that we would be able to eliminate her as a suspect by giving out a description of her. Is this the person you're looking for? And unfortunately,
It is.
some of the details seem to line up.
He takes out from his satchel on the side. He sort of lifts a small wax tablet from his side, and he sort of opens it up. It's sort of like two wood. Inside there's an inlaid wax. He says, "Yes, this is most unfortunate.
Yeah.
Gertrude was much beloved by the local population, and as you entered the foyer, she was brutally murdered in her own home by a disgraced customer."
Slamming.
I can see that.
Did they have
Yeah.
a name for this customer?
Well, most of my witnesses come from those who were sitting in the common time, saw the individual as she made a failed attempt to steal from the cash box that belonged to the proprietress, and when she was threatened with legal action and with calls for the order, she made as if to leave, and then turned at the last moment and viciously sort of incantation or spell. It caused the ears and nose of many of the patrons to bleed heavily and faint from the shock. Those who were still awake saw exactly what happened, and they are these are some very descriptions, might say, dear sir, some very graphic descriptions indeed. Her apparently she was decapitated, or to put it another word, there was just so much blood everywhere, just so much. Her head, it was like gone, and there's a bit of brain still on my cheek.
With that being said, quickly shaping those because I know it may seem like a loudmouth so far, and excuse my own tongue, but pointing over to the group, what these yahoos aren't talking about is apparently that spear was cursed.
Curse, you say? I find that very hard to believe. This is elsewhere. We don't have trouble. Cursed items.
Those cases.
They should
Well,
have
if the
been
spear was
caught and
cursed,
found at the gates.
those cases. Well, if
Well,
the spear was cursed, and if it is, as he looks over the group, that means she was doing something under the influence.
It would very much depend upon what the nature of this curse was. I do not pretend to be a magician, sir. I am but a simple supplicant matron.
Well, I am.
I am a simple country supplicant matron. But I have a duty to the people of Elton to find out what really happened here until, unfortunately, bring in this individual, whether suffering a curse of some kind or not. She is still responsible for her actions to an extent. We would need to check the nature of the item and see to what extent it affects her thinking.
Before we go on a witch hunt, we don't actually know for sure that the person we're looking for is our associate. I mean, I don't even know if she was even here. I mean, we haven't seen
What
her
is
for
the
a while.
name of your associate?
Oh,
Her
come on.
name is Vistra.
Vistra.
And you don't have a name,
To
just
make some inquiries
race
of
and
my
gender.
own.
Just
Perhaps
Look
one
in
of any of you, any of our lot, do any of you have the ability to create arcane imagery? And we can clear her name once and for all just by showing who she is.
Oh yes, I can do that. Oh,
I can also do that. Well, I mean, I could change self and just make myself look like her.
oh yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. You
And
do
as
that.
soon
But
as
I
we
would
show
Shut
need-
it
her-
up and we'll punch you.
I would need a
Well, if
long
that's the
rest
case,
to do
if that's the
so.
case,
Oh.
we're going to. So
I'll
you
cut
say
that.
you saying that you could use some magic to project an image of what it looks like?
Yes,
like,
yes.
so
Well, yeah,
we
that
can
would clear her
eliminate
name.
her from these inquiries.
You have
Yes.
witnesses.
Okay. There are several things that I have. Well, there's several problems with this. First of all, you are her friends. How do I know that you haven't changed any of the details so as to make this individual not?
Well,
At
as
that
far
point,
as
You
we're
could be
aware,
producing an out image.
as far
At
as
that
we're
point-
aware,
Friend is
she wouldn't do
Pedrick
such
I
a
would
stands
be willing
up.
to. I would be willing to allow the priests to cast a circle of truth around you, so as to verify that what you're actually projecting and saying, in fact, the truth.
Ooh,
I'd
I
be
do
happy
love
with that.
circles.
Oh,
I
yes.
do love circles.
Well, let's
We
just let me first do the image, and then if it doesn't line up with what the witnesses saw, we can get the circle of truth in. But if it lines up, there's no need, right? Because then we wouldn't lie, because it would be the truth.
Pedrick
I
just
suppose
says,
so.
I'm a
However,
servant
I feel that if we're
form.
going to do it, we've got to remember some of these individuals are very shaken at the time, and I said I
Oh,
country sergeant
couldn't-
major, but I would like to. I think that what might be the best thing to do is if you give me an hour, so I can ask several other dwarfs around the to dress in a similar garb. If you could describe something, if we can dress her exactly as the witness described, and then we can sort of put you in a lineup and see which one they pick out. Because I don't want to people to start picking out individuals based on similarity rather than actual evidence.
Well, let's face
My
it.
turn.
I mean, let's face it. An hour to clear Vistra's name is nothing, and then we can get on to finding the real killer.
Yeah. Well, where's the witnesses?
My
The
turtle can't look
witnesses are
any more
currently
physically disappointed.
currently under our protection in the local barracks.
Okay.
It's not too far from here, and they can be here within the hour time slot. As I
Yes.
said, they are currently being interviewed again. We have several of our priests tending to them for spiritual comfort.
Okay. Oh wait, I have an idea.
Yes, if you're willing to
And-
conduct this at the local barracks, we can do that there.
I create a mold because I can create stuff, and then I'm created in the shape of Vistra's head, like in my hand, and I put it
Like-
Here. This lasts an hour. This is what she looks like.
and I just
That
put
was-
it there.
Then by the time they get here or we get there, it'll dissolve, and they aren't trusting that.
Well, you said an hour, right?
Yeah.
But
So if that
but
all lasts-
they're not an hour away. They're only about 10 minutes away by car.
He said
Um,
within the hour, within, not
Ah,
in a.
Perfect. Then he can't just tell one of his men to bring this there, and then I don't have to be near them, and then no risk of danger.
Okay. What's the risk of danger of us going there?
Again, if this is correct, but I will take this, and if you do not mind,
Yes, take it.
the local barracks. I do appreciate the fact that you seem to be willing to stop and help with our inquiries. You must understand, however, that I am remain within my custody during this time. If it were to become well known, local populace that Prem may be responsible, well then I feel that you might be in greater danger, vigilantes and mob justice than you could be if you were left under our care.
My character
at
begins
this very-
looking even more disappointed.
at this very moment, there's a loud booming from outside. You can let me through, get out of my way. And this massive barrel-chested, bearded individual just barrels through the guards that have been left outside. He's wearing sort of silvered armor, that sort of that cover, the silvered armor plate mail with upon his chest there is a large sort of mithril gauntlet facing upwards. He has a very large red
Tsitsi
beard,
sneezes.
a bald pate,
Bless you.
and he's currently sort of waving this large stick in his arm. On the end there's the same symbol, this fist. This gauntlet, open-handed gauntlet, and he batters away the two guards and bursts his way through into. Hello, Gamma Boy! What seems to be the problem?
Oh, well, there seems to have been a murder by a currently unknown female dwarf. We're just making sure
What?
that we can clear Vistra's name before we go and find the real culprit.
What? Are you telling me that I warned you about her? Told you that there was something wrong.
Quickly,
Yeah,
quickly.
you
I think-
visit. What are
There's
you
something
doing?
wrong with her spear.
Yeah. Spear stuff.
These men are helping with our inquiries, sir. Well, they can do so within my own establishment. If you wish to see them further and speak to them further, then you will find them there. I have my own questions to ask, and as they're my guests in the city first, they fall under my protection.
Is this the guy from Fairy Tale Guild?
So looking over, his character says, "For a second, I was confusing you for another of my kind, huh?" As he just kind of just looks at off.
He looks over and he goes, "Blast it! My new table! What are you doing walking around?"
He looks at his character and says, "Table? Why, I oughta."
I pay good money for you.
Character's like, "Right, and I thought slavery was illegal here."
But for slavery? You shouldn't sell yourself for it.
He's like, "I was asleep."
Well, you should have been awake.
How
Engel's
long
gonna
were you
get-
asleep? You barely moved, man. We
Sir,
thought
I
this was
believe-
some sort of new magic function. You vibrated every now and then, and we decided that it was
I was
fist-warming
snoring.
tabletop.
Whoever sold
And
you
we're
this,
getting off topic. We're getting off.
whoever sold you this
Let's bring-
table should
let's
pay you
look.
back, sir.
You have what you need, and he points towards that the sort of the bust of Vistra that you've created. He says, "You have what you need for now, boy. Some more ladies. Now, if you need these adventurers, they'll be back at the Pair of Black Antlers under my jurisdiction." This sort of pipes up, and he's like, "Sorry."
Does that
The
does that
order
include
has
me?
jurisdiction over the. No. You're coming. They're coming with me. You can send Serena over if you wish to take them, but then I don't believe you outrank the leader of the Order of the Gauntlet, do you, boy? And sort of the constable sort of was quite quiet. After that, sort of looking down the whack tablet.
Well,
I mean, to be fair, it would be nicer to be in a larger room.
yeah. Kind of. That is.
I don't know. It's kind of cozy in here, guys. I think I like it.
Oh, come on now.
His character says,
No, everything's like perfect size for me. Everything is like at chest height for me, whereas everywhere else it's neck height.
Look at you guys, goes, "You're short."
You don't say.
I'm big.
Oh, are we doing sizes now? Well,
Oh, big for a girl.
Okay. All right. So, so the individual, this very sort of big, brazen, bearded individual turns around and marches out of the room. He stops for him to look and see if you're following him. Are you going to?
Yeah, my character's gonna escape this situation as quick as he can.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
leave
that's it.
with him as well.
yeah, just follow the flow, I guess.
But- Before we go, I look back to the constable. I feel kind of bad. I just pat him on the shoulder, and be like, "You tried. Alright, you did your best." I'm just gonna walk out.
You tried Officer Gordon as the 5 Batman's watch.
We should be helping them. Where are we going?
We're going back to the 2 Black Antlers.
Once we finally walk out of that situation and we're away from the guards, immediately the turtle turns to the group and says, "You know you're all morons, right?"
Well,
Right, we're trying to clear our friend's name.
With that piping up is because, let me explain. You said your friend was super stealthy and was extremely hard to notice in most degrees. Is that correct?
I don't know her.
yeah, me
Then
neither.
why,
Yeah,
in
Mary
all
yesterday.
of the 9 hells, did you mention it was her?
We didn't mention it was her. We're ruling her out.
Yes.
Because-
could
To be fair, Rogar's not very good at keeping secrets. He outed Vistra when you came in. Sky Starfling at one point. It's like
She has
Yeah.
a strong sense
Told
of
him that
dwarven
that's-
honor. She also would have outed out of Vistra if she was
Yeah.
found guilty of murder.
Yeah, me too.
I think
Yeah,
you're
she's
not
a
reading the
possible
group
murderer.
proper. Yeah,
We
I,
should
I don't think
investigate.
you're. I don't think you're reading the group
I'm
properly.
just playing the old turtle
I
that's
know.
like, I just met these
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Rogar,
Yeah,
Rogar
makes
genuinely wants to rule Viscera out as a suspect because it's the only
Yeah.
dwarf he knows. He's ruling
Out
her
of
out
character.
before we can focus on finding the real killer.
Please don't get me
Yes.
wrong. Out of character, I know how the room's going right now. In character, I'm playing an old turtle that's like, okay, what's with these people?
Yeah,
Yeah. He's gonna learn it. Yeah.
I'm
Well,
just super
besides,
honest.
because my thought process was, if your friend was possibly the culprit and no one knew about it, we could have just found her and took the spear away before any problem became.
No,
Well-
no. If she has done something terrible, she's crossed the line that I can't allow her to cross.
But she didn't.
Well,
You don't
Pedrick
know
we'll
that.
says,
find her,
You
find
don't
out.
know that.
Pedrick's like, it matters not who did this. Whoever did this will pay for this heinous crime. And it's not like we have said that the staff needed to be relinquished, and we have been ignored on this spear on more than one instance. And I'm not going to stand here, and he looks at the turtle, and be lectured to from somebody I don't even know, calling me a moron. And he turns and heads toward the bar.
He's the one with the bag of holding, right?
I've
All right.
Oh, you've got it.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
I'm
Rogar.
following you, Rogar.
Yeah.
So as you approach the pair of black antlers, you can see that the Order of the Gauntlet is out in force. There's a large number of individuals who seem to be they seem to be sort of streaming to and fro from the building. Most of them are wearing different variants of heavy armor. And they seem to be sort of well equipped into the nines. A number of them have got dancing lights following them, and lights glowing from their weapons. The individual who you've been following, you know him, as Darth Through, who is the head of the Order of the Gauntlet. He opens the in front of him, and he gestures to Morton, and he says, "I think we'd better have a few rounds of ale over here because we've got something rather important to discuss." And he gestures to a table, sort of seated a bit further sort of into an alcove away from the general hustle and bustle of the inn. The inn is very alive. When you left, pretty almost empty. At this point, there's a large number that's streaming to grow. There's a mix of different races. You can see there are half orcs. There are some elves. Quite a few dwarves, a number of gnomes. There's even a few more esoteric races, like a tabaxi, that seems to be a bit too small for his armor, as well as other sort of stranger and weird things. See, they even see in the you're not quite sure based on his helmet, but he seems to be either a very, very spiky, sort of darker, maybe human, wearing a very sort of bulging armor plates, or probably more likely, this is actually a minotaur. And he seems to be he seems welcome that he's welcomed by the others, but he's wearing sort of a darker tan. He's carrying an axe over one shoulder, and he seems he and others are sort of heading out the city.
So, yeah, kind of looking over, says, "All right, I probably should apologize. I don't know you all that well. All right."
Yeah, it's okay. It happens.
accepted.
So Morton brings over a number of ale, places them in front of you. Onthar spins him a gold coin, and then takes a seat at the head of the table and gestures to seats. Those of you who want to sit, take a pat here. Those of you who feel more comfortable standing, just do so.
I'll sit.
That's because I don't think I can actually sit in your chairs.
Well then,
I should
you
take your
made
chair.
a good. You were good as a table for a while. Pack a birch down there and sit on your rump.
He sits. He looks annoyed, but sits down. And surprisingly enough, because of how his shell is, he's pretty much making like a table press squat as he's actually sitting on the tip of his shell.
And he
Sort
goes,
of,
Not wearing
so
armor, Bengal
Onthar-
sits down too.
Onthar looks over at your group as he's seated as well. Takes a large swig from the ale, the ale, slams the stein down on the table, and turns to you all. Now, some of you I know. Rogar, Edric, I know you as well, and of course, well, I know your friend upstairs who came back complaining and moaning. It's taken my bed a little lighter.
And apparently you know me by table.
Yes, and I know you as a table that I spent good gold on, and that gnome, if he comes back this way, is going to feel the right side of my hand. Anyway, we have a crisis in front of us. I spent some time in a conversation with that young girl that was with me. And you may not know this, but she's quite... Well, she's not unknown to the Orc Gauntlet. I gave her the benefit of the doubt because she seemed to be in good company. But you might not know this. She was a key member of the Order of the Hand. Okay, she was part of Karadrax the Thumb's crew. You might know Karadrax. He's a Duragar, dark dwarf, bad fellow. They operate out of Baldur's Gate. He's a very unsavory individual, and it seems that your friend Vistra used to run some jobs for him.
Oh, well, that explains a lot, I guess.
To be fair, this is news to us.
Yes.
Well, as I said, I didn't want to bring it up before because you'd be in good company, and, well, Rogar, when you vouch for someone, I have good judgment.
And when that vouch gets broken, I take it very personally.
Of course you do. Don't we all?
Yeah,
Now,
that quipping of his characters. She also apparently likes him tall, dark, and handsome.
Right. Well, that's your own. Who am I to judge? Who am I? Anyway, we've got a situation here. As I said, you have been in an association, and that blasted Serena knows that you were in her company. Now, I can only think of several ways to do this. One is to get you out of the city as fast as possible. The other is to try and help you with regards to clearing a name, or we could try and square things with the and see whether we can work with them to produce some sort of system that would be beneficial to you and your. I see a few of you are quite new, and I don't really know you very well. But I'm afraid it seems like in association with Pedrick and Rogar, you may be caught up in.
Well, I for one am all for leaving the city. This heat rash is starting to really get on my nerves.
You have a rash?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
That's disgusting.
Yes. And I would like to not have it.
Well,
Well, I think I would prefer to clear Vistra's name if she's innocent, but if she's not, then I would like to have a hand in bringing her to justice.
Raising his big old claw hand up, his guy says, "May I put out a point?"
Of course you may, Table. To be fair, you've never introduced yourself to him.
For one, my name is Snapshell. And
right,
two,
Snapshell.
And two, from what your friends have told me, and from what of our past, now, if we are able to manage to get this thing away from her and break it, well, depending on how she becomes, if she stays nasty and disgusting, well, of course we'll have to bring her back to justice. But if she returns
Wait,
back
wait, wait,
to
wait, wait.
whatever...
Are you telling me that she's under cursed influence?
In this case, she may be under the influence. Cursed items are a hell of a drug.
I've held this spear. Do I know what kind of influence it can have? Because
You know that it disturbed you, and you put it down through force of will. You never actually got affected by the curse.
Right.
Because you were able to put it down. Now, Mevelin, he did examine the spear.
Yeah.
And he was able to tell what kind of magic on it. And he
Yes,
was able to tell it was cursed.
Yes. And I explained it too. I just explained it again.
Do we actually know how this spear can affect somebody, though?
How and
Mevelin does know it can affect the mind. He knows it does have an effect on the mind. You did see it would affect the will of the person who held it.
It was enhanced with enchantment magic, which means it takes influence over your mind. Nasty stuff, that is. Which means...
And if one of us can hold her down and take the thing away, then the rest of us could smash the thing and see what happens.
Well,
smashing it would be very hard, if not impossible. Not to mention, it wouldn't exactly lift the curse. There are clerics in this town, though. Hopefully one of them could just
remove it.
dispel the curse.
Well, we found out we have to pay a lot of gold to remove the curse, right?
Yes, we also have to gather up the gold to pay for the infected were-rat shelter. And try to help them.
As an artificer, do I know the repercussions of breaking a cursed item, if any?
Well, for it does actually. Artificer. Roll me an Arcana check.
Would I know?
Arcana.
Because
remember, you could try as well.
Okay.
Oh, that was a terrible roll. Good thing I have like.
I'll let Pedrick have a go as
I
well,
got
because Pedrick is trained in his divine magic, so Pedrick can go.
And what are we rolling here again?
Arcana.
I mean, can anyone just roll it, or?
He's got +1, and he managed to guess he got that.
Burst up plus
if you have sort of familiarity with magic of any kind, I would say yes, you can.
What about because
if your character, I want you to play a character. We can have play of magic.
What would
My
I know?
character's seen stuff, but he doesn't really know it.
What would I know about magical weaponry?
I think it depends if you're
You haven't
trained
really
in the
crafted any, except
No.
you haven't actually done any work with
I wonder
magic.
if I learned anything about magical weaponry, about their properties and stuff as in my training.
Well, in the system that I usually play, you can only do knowledge checks if you're trained in them.
Yeah, proficiency.
Yeah, I mean you're still a journey. You're technically a journey.
Yeah, that's
You
fair.
haven't mastered it. And from what we talked about in your discussion, really, your first big creation was your hammer, which you carry around with you, which is ancestral, which is not. It's just more spiritual than it is magic.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
Okay, so I would say probably no, not this sort of magic. You've never dabbled in curse. Definitely, you wouldn't have been able to handle weaponry at your level. Fish just stole my ham sandwich and norming it. Just love it. She's killed an old lady just having dinner. She went to Underdark Way.
Even murderers got to eat sometime.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah, has anybody watched Dexter? You got the pulled pork sandwiches like every same thing. It's just ham sandwich. So Pedrick, I think Pedrick would know a bit. TC, you would know a little bit. Pedrick, you would know a bit. Mevelin, I think that probably you specialize in understanding of curses. That's not your type. You're a conjurer.
Yeah.
You don't really work on enchantment that much. That's not really your specialty. You would have studied it as a basic level, but probably not at this particular point in time taking that much interest in how cursed items actually affect people. Tsitsi, you would know that sometimes Tsitsi and Pedrick, you would know that sometimes the removal of curses from magic items can have adverse effects on the wielder or the user. These adverse effects can be mild. They can range from memory loss, short-term memory loss, to just complete and utter mental shutdown. The effects of what the weapon made them do under duress, whether they remember it. Pedrick, you would know that using suitably divine magic, by magic, the controlled magic, depending on the person who was using it, that if the person is skilled enough, they can actually remove the influence and at the same time begin to do some work to repair the damage caused by the cursed item. So it would less the negative effects, so be more controlled and careful. So you would say, I think probably you would have known, maybe specialized collection and construction of the person. Since your order, your order is out of the way, but every now and then a way into your area or district, and one of the things cleric you would be expected to do is to confiscate anything that could possibly affect people in this. And if a suitably powerful brother of your order was present, they would be able to use their connection to sever these connections to their wield. Being a war cleric, it's a bit. It's more sort of like slicing it away, slicing the magic. The way it sort of like looks and feels. Has the same effect as any other cleric spells, but it's just the visual is a little bit sort of visceral there as a war cleric than say as a light cleric.
So Pedrick basically says, in my experience, any item, weapons, or any other that have been touched by this type of magic corrupts the soul and corrodes the mind and makes an attachment with the bearer. And to remove this item, it will take the power of the others in my brotherhood that specialize more in divine power than the power of the sword.
Yeah, furthermore, your idea of getting it and smashing it is kind of dumb. First of all, if you lay hands on it, the curse might affect you. Second of all, smashing it will just hurt Vistra, potentially.
Rogar leans forward.
Magic weapons also almost impossible to break.
Rogar leans forward and points to Pedrick. And he says, if memory serves, Pedrick, don't you have an angel in your pocket? You're talking about.
Oh my god, that's like from 6
Pedrick laughs and he says,
He might just be happy to see you.
No, going OOC for a moment. That went to someone else. I know what device you're talking about, but I can't remember who it was that actually took it. And I was thinking it was Tack.
So, looking over
If
like a little
it
bit of
was
a wider
Tack, if it was
expression.
Tack, he would have taken for it.
Sorry.
That would have been really
Yeah.
handy to talk to an angel
Yeah.
about
Well,
this.
you
Looking
know,
over the wider expression as my character says, "Can I see this angel?"
I have no bloody angel, Pedrick says. I have just the will of Torm.
well,
You ended up having none of you actually had a conversation with the individual in question, the celestial shard that you managed to find. I think you rescued him, Kotos Magpia.
Right.
Using him as a
But
conversational individual, a personalization.
If I
And he was
remember
so desperate to
correctly,
retake it.
nobody decided to bond with it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and I thought you had it.
I did not. I do not believe I had it.
Because being the cleric, I thought we made it more sense that the cleric would have access to the divine being.
You can check your character sheets, check your inventory.
See what it says. Says, well, I'm sorry for not knowing magic. I figured if we break the thing, it would stop doing whatever it was doing to her.
doesn't work
No,
that easy,
I
unfortunately.
specifically remember turning it down, and I don't have any notation of it on my character sheet either.
If you want to search for it, I'll allow you, during a long rest or something. I'll allow you try and find it amongst your belongings, and it might turn up.
It'd be nice
We'll,
if the
we'll,
halfling
we'll
left it.
roll to see if
It'd be nice if the
Anyway.
halfling left
We'll
it
attack
before he
left.
disappeared.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ontharr turns to you, and sooner or later we're going to have to be able to do that after you've had a rest and something to eat and meet them on a full belly. You've given them that like these pass that information around to the potential witnesses. I've got my own guards on the door. Well, I've got my own guards on the door. You might recognize Molly over there. So this dwarvish barbarian with barbarian / paladin with no teeth. She's like standing there. The door she gives you grin. To you, is it Snapjaw? So what's the character name again? Sorry, I'm trying to remember. Sorry, what characters joining? Snapshell.
Yep.
Okay, so Snapshell, you get a saucy wink from Molly, sort of standing there. She gives you a nice toothless grin. And a big hammer on her shoulder, and she stares out, guarding the doorway. Next to her is a half elf who's sort of carrying a thin rapier and wearing a mail. And he just looks over and he sort of like rolls his eyes as sort of as Molly gives a air kiss Snapshell, and sort of like turns back to the door.
What's the guy called again that we were talking to? I didn't catch his name.
Ontharr Froom.
Beg your pardon?
Ontharr Froom.
Ontharr Froom.
Okay, Omfa. Yeah, I will go to him and say,
Okay, you're a man of relative power, right?
Well, I've got my own influences, yeah.
Okay, do you have access to any spell scrolls by any chance?
Spell scrolls? Really, I think I'm a paladin, but I suppose I could ask. You're more than welcome to have a look. You'd have to go. The archives basement, you know. It's really a bit messy down there. It's not really our thing, but you're more than welcome to go digging through and see if we got anything that suits you.
Yes.
So really, the stuff we've got would be things we could confiscate. Any really useful things probably been taken by some of our.
Oh, well, that's too bad. Because if we had a spell scroll of curse removal, I could just learn the spell. And then.
Well, you're welcome to have a look and see whether you can find it. I would have thought
Or of course you could
that
just.
useful probably would have been. That sort of spell probably would have been taken by one of our brothers for some mission, but you never know what might be left behind.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, but you could correct me if I'm wrong, sir, but from what I know of paladins, they have the touch of remove curse.
Indeed we do, boy. Indeed we do. It's not really my.
Turtle.exe
more of
would be
a
trying to
militant
process
type.
the... Sorry.
Now you might be able to, if you can convince Serena. That woman who just, she won't leave me alone anyway.
I think he likes her.
Thinks that I'm a disgrace to my profession. If you can convince her, then she might be able. And while we're talking about curses, I think your friend upstairs is a little bit on the poor side as well. He seems a little bit. He keeps moaning and holding his arm. I've given him a poultice. He's rolling around. He's thrown up several times. If you weren't your friend, Roger, I would have chucked him out in his ear.
Well, unfortunately, he was bitten by one of the were-rats in the sewers.
Don't tell them that!
At that point, Pedric's eyes open a little bit and he realizes that so was Vistra, and he looks over at Rogar and gives him a look.
What kind of look?
And he's like, hey, I look at you and I say, wasn't Vistra also bitten by one of the rats?
So the
Yeah.
cursed dwarf is wielding a cursed spear and is
Oh,
on the
boy.
run.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
boy. We need that spell scroll.
Without
Okay.
kind of just quipping
Um,
up, this character says, without quipping up, his character says, she is catching every single bad disease, isn't she?
It would appear so, my friend.
including murder.
Yeah.
Well, murder's not really a
What?
lifestyle.
Just to set the record straight, every single player at this table knows out of character that it's straight up murder. The spear had nothing to do with it. Just put that for the folks watching at home. Vistra has no defense in this situation right now.
No, Vistra is in deep doo doo.
Yeah,
We're gonna kill everyone, find her.
we all know Cat's a fucking murderer.
Well, there goes the one
So-
forward for the.
Yeah.
I'm just going to interrupt quickly, just because Onthar sort of waves a hand, sort of to bring Sire to the table. He looks at you and he says, you can see him sort of sagging, big blustering. You can see the blustering individual. It's sort of like you can see he looks a bit about 10 years older. And Rugar, you notice that some of his beard is starting to flake grey and white, and he's definitely looking tired around the eyes, and the wrinkles are more deeply set than you remember when you used to know him when he visited Glimmerscale. And he sort of gestures around the table and he says, "There's no chance that we're going to be roped into this investigation. The orders, they're a slow lot, but they'll get there in the end. What I suggest is that all of you get some rest. I'll
Yes.
put you up here at the Black Antlers, and we'll face it. We'll face this on the morrow. I'll send my own informants out to the city to see what we can find. But until then, I can guarantee you a night's sleep uninterrupted. It looks like you've been put through the ringer, and I think we need to face this tomorrow with fresh."
I've been put through the sewer.
Yes, me too. She too.
I need a room. I don't have a room. TT doesn't have a room.
Yeah. Well, nobody has a here at the moment. Last time they all slept on the table.
Oh, okay.
But yes, there's enough rooms. There's enough that are on the corridor side, and Morton will direct you to a room if you wish to go to sleep. There are about 18 rooms. They're small, and they're enough for individual, and some of them are a second floor down if you prefer to be underground. But he will be willing to bring you a small meal of cheese bread, sort of like cold meats. The evening. He seems to be pretty down. Morton seems to be rather. He's normally quite a flustered, prissy individual. He seems to be very sad and down and withdrawn in the moment. And if you want, he'll direct you to, and you can have a long.
Rogar wants to allow everyone else to leave for the rest, and he wants a moment with Onthar by himself.
Before you have your moment, Rogar, would you be so kind as to transport my dog to my room?
Well, if I get it back,
Here, I
take,
can.
take the bag with you, and
Alright.
I'll get the bag in the morning.
All right.
Yes,
I'm gonna take it to my room, and I'm gonna work on my dog and put him back together.
Looking at his cases, I would like to know how that's still a dog.
It's the dog.
To be fair,
You'll see in the morning.
I haven't seen it as a dog either. It's just a pile of scrap. So,
Oh, come on now, that's rude.
well, I've seen it.
How-
I've only
how
seen
old
it
is
as
the
a
Arctic-
pile of scrap.
Hair there, dog.
Okay, fair enough. By the way, we found this old book in the sewers, right?
That's what I was
Yes,
going to talk to
you
Onthar
did
about.
find an
Actually.
old book in the sewers. That's right.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, this is out of character. Yeah, I would like to also take a room and investigate or try and read that?
Yep. 1 minute. I can help you with that. All right. So so before we do like all the bits that are happening in the long rest, let's just quickly finish up with this conversation between Gar and Onthar, and then we'll sort of go through each character doing hopefully most sleeping, but other things might happen as well, you know. So quick. So Onthar, he sits at the table, he watches follow him to dormitories, and he looks up at. Still here, boy.
Yeah, you look tired, old friend.
Oh, don't to know it. The Order of the Gauntlet. It's our job to keep people safe. But it seems every day more, even though our numbers are better than they've ever been before. And this, I don't mind telling you, this cult of the dragon has got me worried. Now, I've got some good news. Leo said Arthur, he contacted me and he'll be here soon and we can discuss our next steps regarding Cult of Dragon, probably within the next day or so. Until then we'll keep on as we have been and we. But I don't sleep well anymore, boy. Someone's gonna have to take over my place soon. I need to be out in the wild fighting as I did in my youth. All this management is not really.
Well, I hate to add to your burdens, but as you taught me, if there was ever a job that's worth doing, it's worth seeing through to the end. And we found some more information down in the sewers that Starbright didn't exactly have any further use for. So I was hoping that perhaps you or the Order might. And I'll pull out the stones just to show him, and I will also pull out the half a letter that we found down in the sewers, and I will say to him, while we were down there, we realized that it wasn't just a were-rat infestation that Elturel has, and they were working with a third party. And I wonder if there's anything you might make of this letter.
Okay, he's going to he takes the sack of stones from you, and he sort of gives his eyes sort of widen as he takes the stones from you, and he looks up at you. You're mixed up with some dangerous business, lad. Hope my training is holding you in good
Hopefully
stead.
so.
I think you better leave this with me tonight. I'll look it over, and in the morning, I'll let you know what I found.
Yeah.
He's going to need some time to study it as well. Like you guys would study, you will need to do it with time to actually look it over.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that would be a case that would be closed quickly.
That's what I'm hoping too, my lad. You don't need anything distracting. Danger. Suddenly I'm going into a different voice. We don't need anything distracting. Danger of this cult.
No, I'm every day I think of rather be chasing them down.
Good lad. Just like I told you, eh? Get yourself to bed.
I will do. And I'll pat him on the shoulder as I get up. I'll walk past, and as I leave like the common area to go upstairs, I will drop I'll drop 9 gold on the bar and then walk off upstairs.
Well, something Morton likes is money. He's probably very happy with you. Onthar Fruit just offered you his free, you know? Just giving him the money, so there you go. Alright. So here's what here's what happens. I'm going to go through a few of them. So first of all, let's go with Mevelin. Now, let's go with a few other people. So first of all, the item that you managed to find when you were down in the sewers. One of them was a wand of some kind. Can I ask who has that? Did anyone tell me who took that?
I don't have a wand. I didn't pick
A
it
wand
up.
of what? A wand of fire?
No, I gave. You found a stick that had sort of magic properties, and you. I don't know who took them because you opened up the chest and I gave you some items, but I don't know who
I
took
remember that.
I opened the chest, I think. No, I let the artificer open the chest, didn't I?
I think Titsy opened the chest.
Yeah, I think so.
No, I did not open the chest. I told you that the chest did not have any traps.
Yeah,
That's
in
right.
it.
And then
Angle
like-
opened it.
I
Engel
was
opened
smart
the
and ran away.
chest. So Engel's
I
got the
guess so.
stuff. Yeah.
It's not on my sheet, but yeah, I guess I do.
Well, I think we put it on the bag of holding, right? Because it was so much.
Yeah, that's
We-
right. Yeah,
Oh, in that
because
case-
Rogar is
in
also
that
holding
case
all
it-
the coin stuff.
So in that case, then Titsy has all of the stuff because it's in the
Yeah.
bag of
Oh.
holding
So
along with the
Titsy's
dog.
got all of the stuff, except for Mevelin, who's got the ring of mind shielding. Is that...
No,
Yes.
I have that.
You have
No, she gave it.
Oh,
Yeah, she
Engel's
gave it
got
to
that.
me. Remember, because I remember distinctly he said, and I'm gonna give it to Titsy because she's just sitting there not saying anything.
Alright, so Titsy's got the ring of mind shield.
Wait,
Got
really?
everything at the moment.
Both? Because I've put it in my items list.
We'll just say that we handed it off to you. I was gonna give it to you
Beef!
anyways, since it
Yeah.
made sense that you were to have it.
The wizard's got the magic stuff.
Yeah, the wizard has the ring. I have whatever's in the bag of holding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. I gave it to who has it? Because I remember I had a player that I had to give it to. So at the moment, all players should be able to read it. It should be in your journal. This is the Ring of Mind shielding, and so Titsy, as you sort of like as you open, you're familiar to start repairing it. A number of other items, as you feel around, you pull out a few more items as well.
I see.
One of them being this stick that you sort of like you spend a few moments looking at. This is a wand of magic detection.
Ooh, nifty.
Okay. It has three. I will show it to you all, so everyone can see it. It has the ability to cast detect magic on it, and every day at dawn it will recharge D3 of its charges. It has 3 charges to begin with.
That'll make my job a little easier.
You also, I think, found there was a that you found. Was that also placed in the bag of holding?
What?
There was a scroll in the bag of holding. Did anyone take the scroll?
I might have. Yes, I've taken it.
Yeah, you would have taken the scroll, wouldn't you? You as a wizard.
Yeah.
Okay. So the scroll. So you open the scroll and you start to read through, and you realize this is a scroll of warding bond. Okay. This can ward a willing creature that you touch, a mystical connection between the target. While the target is within 60 feet of you, it gains plus to its armor save and saving throws, and has resistance to all damage.
I could cast
Also-
that actually.
Also, each time it takes damage, but it takes the same amount of damage as you. So if he takes damage, you also take damage. Okay, so it's a 2nd level abjuration spell. So I'll put that to everybody, but it's in your thing. And of course, as a wizard, I suppose you write if you want.
Yep.
And finally, what about the strange bag? Did anybody take the strange?
Was that the one with the alchemy stones in it?
No, this was the
No,
other
that's
one.
the
Remember,
bag of
she said they can't. No.
Oh, that she gave? I should have that.
Okay, so you put a bag inside the bag.
Yeah.
Bagception.
Okay,
It's
now
like-
this one I'm really excited about.
Oh
I hope
boy.
you'll like this one. This is a bag of tricks.
Oh, bag of tricks.
Okay, so as you feel around inside it, then as you sort of feel around inside, you can feel a fuzzy object in the bag. This is a fuzzy bag of tricks, rust colored. The bag weighs about half a pound. You can use an action to pull a fuzzy object from the bag and throw it up the 20.
I see.
When the object lands, you will roll a 1d8 to see what it turns into, and it can turn into a number of different items. It can be used 3 times a day. So it can turn into a rat, an owl, a mastiff, a goat, a giant boar, a lion, brown bear, depending on what you throw. So this could be really good, or you could get. But as you can see, it has its. So the bag of tricks is in Tsitsi's possession at the moment as well, and you can of course swap these around and give it to people.
Just make sure that you write it down.
I'll hold on.
Please write down who has it.
I'll hold on to the wand of magic detection. That'll just be on me, I suppose.
Yeah.
Since I do magic detecting thing, and this will just make it a little bit easier on me.
Suzuki is particularly disappointed that there was no rum
Or treats.
or treats.
Finally, how does it take you to repair your familiar?
Just one long rest.
One long rest. Okay, so Tsitsi, you look sadly down at the remain was once companion. However, as you start to inspect, the damage is not quite as severe as it seemed. You can note that some of the arcane sigils into the inner working of your sort of cyber or your sort of metal hound. That a lot of it is intact, and in fact the magic still seems to be flowing. So you work hard into the night. You make sure to take obligatory 4 hours rest. But the rest of the time, you manage to rebuild your faithful companion, and this it seems to retain most of it programming and that you imparted to it. However, it has lost the last couple of days since you were down in the surface, so it doesn't really know well. It's not technically sentient, but at the same time, it doesn't have the understanding of what happened in those 4 days.
Right. Looked down. I was like, "I'm glad you're back, boy." I swear, I know I've promised this before, but it won't happen again.
I promised it when you were eaten by the bear. I promised it.
And that time we went up against the acid-spitting frogs in the sewers before? What is it with us in sewers? That wasn't my fault.
Okay. Let's go to Mevelin quickly. Mevelin, as you sort of sit in sort of meditating and surrounding yourself with your different books, your spell books and your scroll, you pull out the book that was owned by this seer. This tattered book. As you open it up, inside you can see that there are a number of arcane sigils on the outside, and as you open it, you realize it must be Seer's book that is his own room. There are a number of spells that you can see. So within here he has detect magic.
Again.
Okay.
Good.
Magic missile.
Okay.
Shield.
Okay.
Level 2 spells. He has Misty Step. And
Okay.
level 3 spell. It has counterspell,
Oh, damn.
fireball,
Yes.
and fly,
Nice.
which you already have.
Yes.
It also has some level spell as well,
Oh damn. Okay.
which you can't use until you have the spell
Yeah.
slots for it. But
No.
and you can't transcribe until then.
Yep.
But greater invisibility,
Oh damn.
and
Yes.
ice storm,
Damn. Okay.
and it has one level 5 spell in it.
Oh damn.
The Cone of Cold.
Oh damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Okay. Now, of course, until you actually get to the level where you can
Yeah.
transcribe these spells, you can't do so. So please, you can, and you have to spend the gold to transcribe it. So if you do decide if you want to leave it for now, possession,
Yes.
and do it when you feel like it. But if you want to spend the money to transcribe any spell, it follows the rules
Yeah.
in your player's handbook. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just have to tell me which ones you're doing and
Yeah, because I have
how much
most
you're
of
spending.
them. Yeah, I have most of them. I have one ink and one parchment, so I can do one for free, basically. That's it. Wait, I have to check my spells, but I think I will just get what's it? The free slot I will use for fireball.
Yeah.
Everybody
Wow.
loves a good old
If
fire.
in doubt, start a fire.
Yeah.
Hey
Good
man,
man.
I'm all willing to go
That
with
sounds
the
like a
player.
red dragon board to me.
Oh, hell yeah.
Just cast Sanctuary around me and just fail the will save to hit me and hit everything else.
And I'm resistant to fireball, so that's great.
Oh wait, no,
I'm
no.
also resistant to fire.
Wait, I have fireball in my known spells. I already have that.
But
I'm
yeah,
not- I'm
I would-
not resistant to fire, but I'm free to cast Revivify or any resurrection on me without the cost of anything.
I was at where? Wait. Oh man, this is difficult.
Are we
wait,
talking about making turtle?
Suggestions. I would just take suggestion and we will end it.
Listen, you don't need to make me into turtle soup constantly or keep reviving me.
Awesome.
Okay. Rogar. As you sleep, the rune upon your hand glows. You feel a sense of satisfaction and a great sense of sort of benevolent, approval coming from within the weapon. You have gained a spirit point for your heroic saving. Well, your part. I don't want to give Rogar the credit. It was everybody, but
Yeah.
Your
I know
heroic
that.
saving of the kids, making the decision to kill that evil ogroid creature as well. So yes, that's one spirit point for your ancestral weapon.
Lovely.
And also, and then we're not worthy, we suck. Oh, great. Going to be even more of a high horse goody two shoes.
Yeah.
And then
I'm
word
all
I can't say because we're PG-13. So I'm going to say bottom.
Yeah.
Well, the Wayne's World was referring to, oh my god, the amazing spells. It's like, we're not worthy. We're not worthy.
As for character, I would say probably that's our brand new snapshot. You are probably not very tired since you've been asleep about 3 months now. But you use the time sort of like to reflect upon the day and the new people that you met. They seem to be a good bunch, but you don't. But you seem to have got caught up in something that's a little bit larger than anything you've experienced for a while. Suddenly involved in a murder case and party to the inner goings of a secret paladins. It's quite new. You're also a bit offended by the fact that you've been treated as a table for the last 3 months, and you feel a particular sense of dissatisfaction with the apology from on.
At least he wasn't mistaken
Uh,
for a child.
Yeah, that's true. Engel, I mean, this is a far cry from the stories you were told as a child. You've been down fighting against rat men. You've come up, and now suddenly a growing companion is maybe murder, and this order of paladins that you were expecting to be a particular, like a noble and valiant order, drunken and loud who like to fight in armor that doesn't quite fit them. It's not quite it's quite the sort of the clean cut stories that you but it is exciting, and it is something new, and you start to feel you're sort of becoming a bit of a part of that group. Who would you say your character sort of close?
Definitely not Vistra. Yeah, she's one of a good bond. They are out there to help save the kids and all that. I mean, they seem like they're on the righteous path. Aelin's good alliance, pretty good. Rogar seems to be getting along well with, and our lovely cleric friend. And she's just kind of concerned about Vestra right now, who is going to become her enemy. Otherwise, everyone's
And
going pretty well.
Pedrick, you
Yes.
as you sort of sit in meditation, praying to Torm, you feel a sense of satisfaction and a sort of a sort of a warmth of righteous.
Confirmation.
I've lost my use of the English.
It gets a warm tingling sensation.
It's a warm tingling sensation in your limbs. It might be talking, might be a pins and needles. You don't know, but you know something. But no, you feel a sort of like a sort of righteous, contained righteous fury, but it's sort of directed. It's directed righteous fury. Again, a righteous happiness. I don't know. I've lost my command of the language. So basically, you feel that your god has been approving of actions as of late. But you also then feel a sense of discontent, almost like a burning ember, anger directed at you. Could this be that you have displeased your god in some way? Some actions that you have taken have led you to come into conflict desire. You're not entirely sure, but you do know that you feel a bit disquieted, a little bit on edge. Vistra has been a boon companion of yours, and it's kind of causing you to question your understanding of your comrades, your friend. Vistra was a comrade, and how could she be capable of this? You always thought you knew she was but to be a murderer, that would put her on the list of abomination and make her an enemy. You're not sure how you feel about that.
Right.
Sorry, guys. By the way, I'm going to just apologize as the DM. We're going to take a break in just a minute. But also, I apologize if I'm lacking in verbosity tonight. I am absolutely shattered. So
See, that was a clever word, verbosity. There you go. So you've got it.
Yeah.
Yes, it did take me a pause to think of it, though. I couldn't think of another penis, but yeah, verbosity, I've got it.
It's enough syllables to be impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've intelligence.
Okay, we're gonna. Basically, this will be the long rest, and we will begin the story again as you come down, as you start to introduce the main. We're going to take a break now, so we can have a bit of time, bathroom break, and come back as a group in about 10 minutes. Sounds fine?
Yep.
Sounds perfect.
See you in a
Okay,
bit, folks.
wonderful. See you in 10 minutes.
Perfect. I wanted to swap
Alright.
out some of my spells during a long rest, so
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay, you
I need to.
guys can do that, and you can just
Yeah.
come back
Hmm?
and tell me anything you changed,
Yep,
or
fine.
you can tell me nothing
I
more.
already changed it.
I need
I
to-
swapped out my heroism for rope trick.
Okay.
Yes. I swapped out web for magic missile.
Nice.
Okay.
All
Alright.
those spells in those books, I have every single one of them except suggestion. So it's like,
It's just
Nice.
a standard
It's a free-
mage.
It's a free
really
spell.
and mage armor. And mage
Yeah.
armor.
All right. So we're back in 10,
Alright.
yeah.
10 minutes.
Alright.
Yeah, we're gonna take a
Lovely.
break at 10.
Wait, who can do shit?
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Green
Hi.
Palace. Hey, we're all saying hello now. Hello.
Guys, they try to make me the turtle soup help.
Yeah,
We've got him
yeah, it's
here
gonna
in
be
the
great.
cauldron. He is the cauldron, or he will be when we finish with him. So what we've been doing is we had a little bit of technical difficulties getting things sorted out so we can show the tapas. But we are back now. We're going to show that. Thank you so much for being patient. Sorry, a few minutes late. 10 minutes late. Sorry about that. Yes, we are. We're back, and as always, we're going to show the tapestry off. We've got some a lovely image from Plutonium, I think.
Yep.
To show off Plutonium, fantastic. Quick word, just say thank you very much to all people who've been sponsoring us and supporting us throughout
Watching
our
and
streaming. Guys, we
lurking.
love you. You're amazing. This Plutonium base, Callum, Calvin, Kai, absolutely thank you so much. All your support is so welcome. Thank you. We try to make it better. We are getting some new equipment soon, which we're hoping to put into play, and
new
hoping that
games
will
as
make
well.
things even smoother. Yeah, and some new games, things we'll be introducing.
I'll do the
Okay.
I'll do the list and rundown at the end.
Yeah, you do the list. Yeah. All right. So, can we show the tapestry? I think we've got
Yeah, we can. So, the one entry this week is from Plutonium OD, and he has sent us a picture of his. He sent us his Instagram link of his Demon Prince of Chaos Undivided, which I think is
my
awesome.
heart is melting.
I remember that model from when I was like a 11-year-old, 12-year-old in Singapore. I remember that came out. It was like on the front page of the book. And look at that fiery lettering, absolutely brilliant. That is a great model. That used to be like the on the front cover of some of the codexes. It was just absolutely brilliant.
Just look at that. Just the viscera on the back of that. It just looks so gross. It's awesome.
Heavy metal.
It is
awesome.
Oh, look at that. There you go. Proper shot of the sword
that
there.
sword. Oh boy. Oh yes. Oh damn.
So
I just love that.
I could see him
Looks like
fighting for the
something
pick of truth.
Looks like something out of Berserk almost.
Oh,
yeah.
awesome.
Yes.
I can actually see that going next to my Chaos Hellbrutes for 40k. It's got that, for some reason, it sort of very reminds me of the colour scheme. But yeah, I adore that. Ooh.
On an unrelated note, I might be selling all my paintbrushes. This is awesome.
That's really good. Really good.
Thank you so much, Pluto, for sharing.
It's a treat to see that model again, because I haven't seen that model for a while. I'm pretty sure that's an older model.
It's awesome. And everybody at home, don't forget, if you want to share your art, just jump on the Discord and send us your links. There's stuff there.
Or you can go straight to the link itself.
Yeah, all the time.
Oh god, I haven't had any time to paint recently. I really want to get some stuff up on the tapestry for next week. But it's holiday next week. I get a week off.
I should have put my cup on there this week.
You've got to get some of those up there. Yeah, but you were saying that you might be getting a distributing license from them at some point. Yeah, hopefully, so it might be something we.
Yeah, maybe it'll be a year-ish yet, but yeah, hopefully. We'll see.
That'd be really cool. We'll all be getting one, I think. Then we'll all be getting one.
Yeah, you'll all be getting one. Lovely. All right. Well, yeah, that was the tapestry this week. Anyway, folks, thank you, Pluto, for dropping that in. And
we really do appreciate it. Always bloody good.
Throw back to our DM.
Oh, I just remembered something that could have shown. Oh well.
Yeah, the DM never shuts up, so it's not really a throwback. It's more like just reminding him
not even when he sleeps, because he's still snoring.
Yeah, well, rather than a throwback to our DM, I'll just concede defeat to my DM and he can take the game away.
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm sitting there jealously relaxed and I'm drinking out of this.
It's a cute little reindeer.
It's a McDonald's cup. Look at that. Look at the difference. I'm just waiting for it to become like any other kid's project and the holes start appearing in the bottom, and it starts to leak out, and the handle to come off like in a badly made thing. I love that. Put the carrot juice inside just in case. Okay. All right. So in our last part of the session, we our group finally met our newest member, Snapshell. Snapshell? Yeah, Snapshell. And he was this Snapshell Pond Crusher who had been mistaken as a table for the last 3 months, and had come to life at the hullabaloo of the hue and cry of the citizens crawling out for the capture and arrest of the person who'd killed poor Gertrude from the Gnome Sweet Gnome. You were
Oh, she's not
interrogated
poor. She
politely
deserved it.
by the supplicant major visits, a half elf or a human with a bit of elvish blood in him, who spoke to you very calmly and politely, but did note a number of your slip ups, or at least I wouldn't say slip ups, I'd say pure exclamations of information, which he had not heard from anyone else because it hadn't been released at that time. And after a conversation, you were rescued by Ondar Froome and brought back to the pair. You were set up for a long rest in the dormitories, or at least what he considers to be the dormitories, which are really the rooms in Morton's Inn. And Brogart, you handed over some of the materials that you found, the glowing rocks and the left that you found in the sewers for him to peruse.
Yep.
And finally, I'm going to plug in my iPad so it doesn't die, because that would make me disappear. And I
That'd
know
be a
some of you
shame.
would cheer.
I would be so sad.
No gods, no masters to keep his arms.
Kill the DM IRL, man.
You awake in the morning in your room. Some of you in your beds. Some of you might have been meditating or have been sort of maybe prefer to sleep on the ground, depending upon your predilection.
My character slept in the bottom floor.
But you make your way down into the central sort of meeting room of the pair of Black Antlers, into the common room. There are very few members of the order. You can see that the guards have been changed. There was an elven individual before, as well as a female dwarf barbarian. She's no longer there as the elf, and now replacing them as two sort of rather. There's quite a large rotund individual there. He's got like you look at him and it just screams sort of almost like corrupt cop, like from his old movies. He's got the big belly, big scraggy beard. Seems to be wearing sort of almost like a leather duster over his armor. He's sort of standing there slouched against the wall. The other one seems a bit younger, maybe a bit more sort of clean cuts, almost like almost like buzz cut hair. His armor is very, very good condition. He seems to be carrying a loaded hand crossbow in one hand, and he's in sort of conversation with his colleague, and they're sort of standing by the door, keeping the riffraff out, and as you said, on through me. Morton table for you all. Yeah. Hams, cheeses, bread. It's also a thick bubbling pot of stew, which seems to be on a little burning. Anyone who were to look at it, you'd notice it's sort of a magic flame, almost like the bomb, and seems to be burning and keeping it at temperature. Individuals in the room. There's a room. And there is a Super Sentry Girl. I'll explain.
All right.
He looks like.
I think Will had a question as well.
Sorry.
Would my character be used as a table again because he fell asleep down there?
Oh, I hope so.
There may be several
Little
mugs
wings
on your
of
back at this time. As you sort of
Because-
stretch up, you hear a smashing sound. Oh, give me that again.
If there is stuff on him, and once he awakes and notices this, he'll instantly shoot his arms and legs out of his shell and just flail them up, going, "Not again!"
Oh, does Snapshell like have little rings when no one's used coasters for the last 3 months?
Yes, you have watermarks on your shell.
He got
You
anal
have
rings.
several watermarks on your shell.
They're built in because he's so spiky. There's grooves.
Oh,
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't mention this before, but there's some things I wanted to do in my room before I went down, so I'm not down there.
Oh yes, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you could finish them up. I just wanted to do like short things before I went down.
So CC, you're not there currently. You're still in your room fixing a few things up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So before we twist over to Tsitsi, and have a look at it from her perspective, there is as you come down, you sort of make your way towards the breakfast spread. You see Ontharfrum is already there, and he's standing and he's in conversation with an individual who looks Super Sundry Girl.
All right. So so you're gonna see a 7 foot 10-inch tall half orc.
Massive individual.
Yeah. He's actually very young in his face, but it might be a bit hard to tell what age he is. So you speak with him and get to know him. I'll just give you a general description about what he looks like. So he's got no armor, but he's got a lot of more natural types of clothing, something like you would sort of imagine maybe a druid to wear as well. He's got his skin is not the general type for half orcs that you would generally see. His skin is like a charcoal blackened grey. You'll see that he's got dark grey hair that's long and straight, but is tied up, and he's got some parts of the hair that comes down his shoulder that's braided, and it's got small little almost like tribal tokens attached, little pendants and such. You might also notice that he's got a necklace that he wears with a silver wolf pendant on it. He's very well built, he's very muscular, and he's got for eyes, you'll see that they're dark yellow, but sometimes when you look at them, they look like a little red flake in his eyes. And he's talking to Ontharr, and he's like, well, oh sorry, he's young, sorry, I can't remember he's young. Well, I guess we'll have to find her and stop this.
Yes. Ontharr, he gives a sort of a grunt of acknowledgement towards the large half orc, and he turns as he sees you all coming out from your dormitories, and he says, "Here they are." And he gestures towards you all. Yes, Rogar, he's taller than you. And
You gotta look up to someone now.
So as you come over to the group, this individual towers over you. Ontharr looks like a dwarf in comparison to him. Like a dwarf in comparison to a normal human. And
you'll also notice a great sword as well. You can also see sort of a hand axe and a javelin attached to his person too.
Okay, so he calls you over and he says, "Hope you've had a good night's rest. There's been a bit of a development while you were all up sleeping. Tell you what, I've had quite the night. I'm gonna have to go and get myself rested up soon, you know. It seems that the bust you provided to the militia, the order, seems to do the trick. What? Most of the eyewitnesses made a positive identification based on the work of this here mage, and he points at Mevelin, and it seems that it seems that
Oh, sorry.
oh, what's that? Sorry, it seems that that's good enough for the order. They've put out a general warrant for Vistra's capture, dead or alive. She is the preferential. The preferential is alive, though. Of course, the reward is greater if she's brought in alive. We've managed to work it out that you'll be able to move freely. I've spoken on your behalf, and I might be an old codger, but my word does have some sort of pull here. Had to do a few favors for the order, but I'm sure that this will come as no surprise to you. Even though we don't get on well, we're on the same side. So I'm sorry for that. Don't wish to make things worse for you, but it seems that Vistra was indeed the one who pulled the trigger on the old gnome.
That was not the information I was hoping to hear this morning.
Yes. Damn. Maybe
Well, as she said, she's holding a cursed item. The only reason that they're even offering the dead option is in case she engages with them in combat. She said I spoke up on their behalf and told she was carrying a cursed item, and this could be causing her to behave erratically. If she, the idea is to bring her in and to subject her to a cleansing ritual, and then see to what extent that she was responsible for her own action.
After cleaning up the stale ale from a shelf for a bit, finally putting the rag down, because says, I told you, probably that item.
Let's hope so.
Well, we don't know until we've got the item, do we? Your table.
Either way, we have to make sure people don't get hurt.
I agree with our large friend here. What's your name?
Yes.
Wolf. Logan Wolf.
Ah,
So Wolf here has done some work for the Order of the Gauntlet in the past. He's quite a capable fighter and capable of taking care of himself. He knows a bit of magic as well. Keeps him sharp in the wilds. He came by earlier today, and let's just say one of the ways in which you're allowed to travel around is if you're actually you're going to be allowed to travel around freely is if you're accompanied by someone who has jurisdiction to hold Vistra and bring her back to Elturel if at all possible. And this individual, he's a very I've worked with, as I said, worked with him in the past. He's been a true and honourable individual. And I feel that if we are to have any representative, at least one that we pick would be the best choice. So we've commissioned him to join your party while you undergo the different missions that we've talked about in the past. He's privy to some of the comings and goings of our more so we say delicate missions, as well as to the overall goal that we have committed ourselves to in trying to take down this nefarious cult of the dragon. He's a member of another organization, but one that is allied to our own, and hopefully he'll be an asset to your party.
well, and I'll reach out an arm towards him, and I'll say, well met.
He looks strangely at you as you bring out your hand to shake, and instead he sort of does 3 pats on your shoulder and goes, yes, well met.
So yeah, after staring at this orc for a second, he looks up at the Dragonborn and quickly says, "You know he's bigger than you."
Well, I had noticed, but I'm comfortable in I'm comfortable in my own skin to
And
not
on
worry
that
about such a
note,
thing.
Logan says to you in Draconic, and he goes, I guess you know your your natural tongue. How old are you for your size?
I'm actually rather young. I'll return it draconic. I've only just passed my 20th year.
You're old, he says.
Not fair. How old are you?
16.
Wow. They certainly put plenty of stuff in your food then.
Well, I'm not around from here, but yes, I come from a very different land to this location. And he says that last bit in common.
Looking over at his wizardy friends, his old wizardy friends, the character says, "Well, they're whispering sweet nothings to each other. I'm going over here." Just walks out.
Oh man.
Angel, like, as she's hearing this, she's standing over there. She's like looking down to the side, blushing about, "Wow, you make me feel."
Rogar's going to look
Okay.
at. Rogar's going to talk to, just say to Onthar and our new half-orc friend is, do we have any leads on where we could possibly start looking for the sneaky dwarf?
Before we do that, I'm going to quickly just jump over to Tsitsi, who's been waiting patiently to do a few things in a row.
Yep.
Tell us what she's doing before she can join us.
Okay, well, now that I got my steel defender back and my house is starting to come back in order, in a manner of speaking, I wanna just do some housekeeping real quick with my gear. I would like to use my 2 infusions.
Mm-hmm.
So the 2 infusions I'm going to be used are, where are they? They're right here. I know they're right here. I wrote them down on my character sheet. Okay, I want to put the repeating shot and enhanced armor on. So on my crossbow, repeating shot and my studded.
Yeah, you
armor.
don't have to reload, do you? You get like one and you just keep automatically.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do not have to reload. So on my crossbow, it looks like you guys might have seen it before. You like those like one of those things that you usually see like a stack of bolts in that you put on top of the crossbow. It's kind of like that, but a little bit like smaller, so it doesn't like really obstruct the view if I'm aiming it down. So it looks like that on there, and on my armor, I sort of just it looks like the best way I could describe it is like that Iron Man power core, but it's just like on the chest instead of like in my chest. And so like I'll tap my armor a little bit and like it kind of where my armor gets like the impact, it sort of lights up a little bit. So like I know like all right, it's all working. So I'm ready to go. So that gives me +2 to AC.
Oh, please tell me you're going to come downstairs singing Back in Black. Bow, bow, bow.
So you've basically got a little arc reactor in your chest. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's not as flashy, mind you, but it is there.
I like it. Okay, so what color is it? Is it like, if it's glowing, is it like blue or green, yellow? What's the?
It's got like a pale blue glow to it with just a tinge of purple.
Definitely.
Okay. I like it. All right. So and you're coming down.
Yeah, now I'm coming down. So I got my crossbow fitted proper. I got my armor suited up, and I have my steel defender back. And he's not a pile of scrap. So
you all hear the clatter from the staircase, and that's the wow, and suddenly she's coming up. She's got a suit of armor on, crossbow.
I'm gonna say Logan. I'm gonna say Logan sort of prepares himself. He's like, "Who's that?"
I'm going to take a prepared action. I'm going to shoot anything that comes up. Steel defender. And then behind Titi's sort of at Titi's side is this thing. None of you have ever seen anything like this before. Okay, it looks. What does your steel defender look like? Is it a dog or is it like a?
The shape of it is closer to a wolf. You know, it's got like that, but you know, it's got like the shape of the head and the body, but obviously no fur, and it's got the claws kind of come out a little bit more, and there's no lips covering up the teeth, so it's all just like
So all teeth and
daggers in
claws.
his mouth.
Does it have like little panels? You like on it.
Yeah,
It's
like
panels like move.
Quick.
no, yeah, well,
Logan!
obviously it's gotta like it's gotta be a bit more agile. I think my steel defender is actually faster than I am, so it's big and it's heavy, but it also has a bit of mobility to it. So it does have like some moving parts along
What
the
Question:
colour
body.
is
because I haven't
it?
really
Is it
worked
like
with
literally
artificers
metal?
before. Can you ride it?
Can I write it? No. I will say this. I can't because I'm 5'1", but a very small, perhaps like gnome, or like where are those birds that have to mimic the noise of other people?
Kenku.
Kenku.
Yeah, Kenku. Kenkus have ridden on my steel defender before.
So,
What
looking
about-
upstairs says,
Muscles?
What
you
about-
know that necromancy is immoral, right?
Oh yes, I agree, 100%.
Then why
Logan
did you resurrect your
relaxes.
dog?
Do you resurrect broken tools?
Also-
You're calling it a tool.
Logan
No,
relaxes and he walks over to the is it silver? I'm assuming it's like silver metal.
Yeah, it's
Color.
it's
Yeah.
it's kind of like stainless steel looking.
Yeah. So he'll walk. He relaxes and he goes over while he's holding his wolf pendant necklace in his hand. Walks over and he's like starts stroking it and goes, "A very good friend to have in battle."
Oh yes, when he survives.
Does your
Can I-
steel defender have a name? Can
Oh
we give it a
yes,
name?
everyone, hello. This is my dog. His name is Gorgie.
Oh, what a nice
Orgy?
name! What a nice name.
A fitting
Yes.
name, by the looks of those teeth.
Oh yeah, he does so love chew toys.
Love it. I love
A
it, Gorgie.
point of order, I will also say I believe you have a bag to bring back to me.
Oh yes, and I toss him his bag. Thank you. I took the wand out, by the way. The detect magic one. I figured I might as well use it since I'm kind of the one that detects magic, I guess.
Oh, is that what it did?
I don't need it.
Me neither.
And I'm gonna put I believe I'm still see, I'm still not sure whether I'm still am I still carrying Bogrog's great axe?
If you put it in
It's
your
on my character
inventory,
sheet,
you
yeah.
are.
I'm gonna put Bogrog's great axe into the bag of holding.
Fair enough. You take a massive axe that seems to be hewed out of one giant piece of metal. You drag it where it's been sort of like sitting in the small of your back or something because it's been completely not talked about for about 6 to 10 episodes now.
Yep.
This giant axe sort of like just anime appears out of your pocket. That's what you carry in your inventory.
Yep.
Like Harley Quinn when she pulls out her giant hammer, you know.
Yeah. So where did that come from? Anyway, and then I'm
put
gonna slide
it
it back
into
into my Mary Poppins bag.
Yeah, put it into the bag of holding. You place it down in front of the bag of holding, and suddenly it's just like enveloped by the bag and is sucked into the bag.
Yep, that'll do. Right.
Logan turns to Ontha and he says, "What more can you tell me about this Vistra? What's her backstory?"
She's a criminal. Used to work for the hand, from what I understand. She's been seen in the company of some quite bad folks. Kadranax the Ring, one of them, very dangerous individual.
What does he deal with normally?
Well, he's He's one of the individuals who works for the sort of the thievery branch of the hand. It's a very she used to work as a she used to work as a slabber, not a slapper, a slabber. She used to work as a slabber, a person who would focus on breaking down parts of the walls within banks without actually breaking down the supporting structure to allow them to enter these sort of buildings from underground. She was quite the architect or mason in her day. From what I've been able to gather from my spies, some sort of tragedy happened. Her family was broken apart, and she's she turned to a life of crime, and then she received, from what I've been told, she received some information from a good friend of mine, Anderson, who saved her life, and went to help him. And now it seems that well, her bad deeds have caught up with her, and she's gone off the deep end. Could be this curse item that she's been carrying, but we won't know until we get her back and in custody.
So she's dealt with masonry, and she knows how to enter buildings by destroying the structure. What particular areas are well known to have those types of elements here in Elturel? Perhaps she could be there, using her skills to hide.
Pretty much all the buildings, you know, the buildings.
Well, that's not very
break
helpful,
into them.
but okay.
Well, I don't know how to be helpful. All I know is that she knows how to break into buildings, and we have quite a lot of those here.
You said she lost. You said that her family broke up. Do you have any information? Maybe that could help lead us to like where she is.
Not really. I mean, I know she's a son and a husband. I'm not so sure what happened to the husband. He seems to have vanished, but the son apparently went down on a ship. I mean, they work out of Baldur's Gate. You might find more information there. Maybe she's gone back to her old haunts.
Piping up, Curses. Wait a minute. The husband vanished.
I understand. I have no information. I mean, he could have just left, for all I know.
Was this recently?
Was this from Baldur's Gate?
It's in Baldur's Gate, yes.
So we basically have no leads. That's what I'm guessing.
I know that she was. I know that she was being chased by. I mean, you mentioned this yourself, Rogar. That the hand seems to be interested in getting her back. Maybe if you could find some of their members, they don't.
Yes, I'd also. Oh, I'm gonna say something. Carry on. I can't remember. Let me have a think.
Well,
Perhaps where do you think we might be able to find some of these hand members?
I don't know. I mean, criminal types in Elturel, maybe not so many here, but Baldur's Gate's where they're actually situated.
Yeah, raising a scaly brow. Scarecrow kind of continues on with it. Well, all of you are friends. No one has a keepsake of her.
Nope.
No. She kept herself to herself.
yeah.
Myself
Logan-
and PT just met her a couple of days ago.
Not even
Logan-
a couple. Just yesterday.
Yeah, it's true.
Feels like a couple of days ago.
Logan turns to the party that's in front of himself and Unther, and he says, "What were her habits? What were her weaknesses?"
Well, she wouldn't be anywhere near water, that's for sure.
Pedrick says if shiny, it
So
was a weakness.
probably rule out boats then.
Yeah.
Whoa.
What was that, Pedrick?
Pedrick says if it was shiny, it was a weakness.
Yes. Is here any votes? Are here any votes at such gold in Autoo?
Well, I mean, she'd probably be trying to keep a low profile, so she probably wouldn't be going for a high-risk robbery at this time.
Well, I mean, if
Can,
you already murdered somebody, you can might as well go all out, if you know what I mean.
Unless she's gone back to the sewers thinking that we wouldn't double back.
You must have been
DM.
quite a lot of fun when you were younger.
Yes.
Well,
Could Logan roll some like investigation or something or maybe I don't know. I was just trying to think whether he would have an idea that could help. I wasn't sure if there would be a skill to roll.
He doesn't really know Vistra, so to
No,
say
but
he could
going
roll
just
a-
off of the information that seems to have picked up.
you could
Like an
roll
int
maybe an insight or maybe sort of. You're saying it's like an instinct, like you might get an instinct as to where she might go.
Yeah.
Instinct tends to be more perception, like natural gut feeling. So I'll let you roll. You can either try and deduce it using do an investigation check, or I'll let you use your wisdom if you want to like see if you can gain a natural sort of like a grudge, not a grudge.
A gut
Inclination.
I've lost my ability to speak. Yes, natural intuition.
All right.
Like
So
an
you
insight
said
check.
I'll do the wisdom. I'll do the wisdom. So would that be insight or perception then that you'd want?
Well, insight uses intelligence as well. Again, so yeah. I mean, the thing is, right? You're right. It probably would be but insight's normally like reading body language, things like that. Yeah.
I think
Use
mine-
Insight
use
uses wisdom.
insight.
Insight. Okay.
So insight's wisdom. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to do it.
Either
Oh,
way,
sorry.
I don't think you get very much from that.
Okay. He
No,
says he's just gonna say, perhaps you say that she's scared of water. Perhaps she would go somewhere that was related to water. Perhaps put you off to get you off the scent. You know, if she's scared of water, you would assume she wouldn't go somewhere like that. So, are there any boats or something? Is the only thing I can think of.
I mean, from what I've
Other
seen,
than finding the ring.
from what I've seen, there would take a hell of a leap of
Courage.
strength from her to be able to even think about running to water to hide.
I'm not
Pedrick.
talking about water. I'm talking about some place that makes boats or something like a dockyard. Not necessarily has to be water, but maybe some
Yeah,
some
but
sort of connection.
Is there?
But
Is and I'm going to look at Onthar and I say, is there anything like that in El Terrell?
El Terrell? Of course there is. You're at the harbour, boy.
Oh,
We're
okay.
currently in the harbour district.
Oh, okay,
Question.
that makes
That's
sense.
where the pair of Black Antlers is. Look outside. There's
Oh!
water.
Oh yeah, of course we have.
Sorry,
been down to
one
that.
moment. One moment. Thank you, Campfire Quest, for your raid. Thank you very, very much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much. Wow. We're not expecting that.
We're getting an even bigger audience now.
Question.
Yes.
Your heat rush emanating aura of holiness and all that. Why hasn't that picked her up yet?
It's not that it hasn't picked her up. It's not. It's not like it burns you for being bad. It just it affects your infernal ancestry because you are a tiefling.
No, I know.
But what it does is it illuminates the city, so there aren't like any places for her like to hide in the. Like she would find it more and more uncomfortable to be in El Terrell. Like the more evil you are, the more it is for you to actually be within the city.
I see.
So it would also you would probably be able to deduce that from the effect upon yourself, and you know that you're not a bad person. You just have people in your ancestry that were bad. And so you probably deduce that this is rather she might be feeling rather uncomfortable at the moment in El Terrell. You would also know that the streets, as they're always illuminated, would not offer her any safe space to hide in the
Right.
shadows.
And on top of that, if she's been affected by the curse of the were-rat, she's probably very ill.
Well,
And
you
so
could
she couldn't have
yes.
gone far.
Well, I mean, Copernicus is in bed and he's been throwing up several times. Remember, Onthar mentioned that last night.
And they were
Right.
both infected at the same time, so she's probably not feeling very well. Perhaps our half-orc friend has got an idea. Perhaps we should scour the harbour district first and see if we can kick over any stones.
When I used to be in my homelands, that was the best way to find people that I was asked to search for. You'd always go in the place that you least think. I mean, she's scared of water. She probably wouldn't be by water, but something to do with it. That's the only thing I can think of at the moment.
All right, but
Okay.
that's a good place to start. Maybe after that we should, if she is infected, go back down toward the sewers where the others were. Maybe she's rejoined those monsters. I
Why
don't
would she
know.
be in the sewers?
Well,
Onthar sort of pipes up quickly and he
Underground?
says, on that note, I've got a few things that I need to say quickly to you. Firstly, I was visited by Serena last night. She tells me that she's disappointed to hear that a member of your group was involved in such a heinous crime, but that she does remember your promise to help the children if necessary. She's gathered together the 600 gold so she can begin the ritual to save 2 of the children from their infection, but if they wish to be part of the ritual, she'll be taking part in it in several days. She'll be able to undergo it in a day or so once you have gathered the funds. Your friend up there is getting worse. I didn't like to bring him down today because he's been, let's just say, I don't know whether Kobolds can get a fever, but if he could get one, it looks like he's got one. Sweating through his scales, he is sweating through his scales. And
How much gold was it per person?
it was 300 gold per person. You had 5 children and 2 of your own party. 2 children she's paying for.
So 3 children.
So 3 children and Kopernicus.
And Vistra.
Well, Vistra's not here at the moment. So you can't do anything for that.
So it's 3 kids and it's 300 gold per person.
So including Kopernicus, we 1,200.
That's a lot of money.
I'm gonna reach into my coin purse and I'll pull out 300 gold pieces.
Pedrick follows suit with 244 pieces.
How much is each platinum? Each platinum is 10, right?
10 gold pieces.
Each
so
platinum is 10 gold.
we've each got 200 gold pieces in platinum, but I wasn't going to reach in for all of that. We might need some funds later.
Yeah.
yeah.
So there was 244 from Pedrick.
So you only have enough to cure 1 at the moment. You need 600 to cure 2, 900 to cure 3, and 1,200 to cure 4.
Rogar's going to look at everyone else to go, any other donations?
Pedrick takes the greatsword off his back and offers, well, it's the only other thing I can offer.
Well,
You might need that later.
yeah.
Yeah, your weapon you should probably
Because we might find better use with money. For example, if we find a spell scroll, I can learn the spell, and I don't know how much it costs, and then I could cure all of them, and we don't have to spend any money.
Well, how much is a scroll like that gonna be?
Yes, I don't know. That's why I'm hesitating to give my money.
Pedrick says money is only a material thing. It's nothing that I need. Take everything I have.
I'm totally up for Ingle's totally up for donating like 15 for platinum, but it might be. But she's also up for finding the spell scroll first, so then we can have more ability to help other people with our funds.
Yes.
Okay.
Because then we could help everyone Because with our funds now, even.
Well, we're not committing the money now.
Yes, we're not.
If you find the scroll before it's too late, then we'll do that. But just in case, Tizi's gonna throw in 10 of the plat.
Yes, me too.
Also
Another
good.
100.
Ingo will put up 20 plat because Rogar said he could silver her weapon for free, which is what she wants the money for.
DM,
Yes.
how much
That's-
would my character start off with, by the way? Because I've got his standard, but I don't know if I should change that to. I can't remember what it was when we started the actual camp.
I'll let you start with 100 gold. You're a pretty profitable bounty hunter.
Well, right now we have managed to say with the money that we saved, we can put it aside at least in say if we give it to Onthar for safekeepings. If we can't come back with a better alternative, we have managed to save all 3 children with the money that we've just put in, and we're 44 gold into saving Copernicus.
How much more do you need for your friend? Logan says.
It'll be 346. No, 246.
He offers you 50. He gives you 50.
Oh, or maybe we can find a cleric or something, like one that specializes in curing. I don't know.
I have the ability to cure, but I don't think I have the ability to cure what these children seem to be dealing with, as well as your friend.
Yes, I meant getting rid of curses.
So 300. Let me just double check on that here.
And Onthar also it says, "What are you talking about? That? What happened? Something in the voice. What are you
Just
talking
bear with
about? That another matter I want to raise with you. Of course, looking over the maps you showed me, Rogar, and looking over what you sent, you gave to me earlier. They got 2 concerns. One, seems to be some sort of deal going on between the members of some other organization. Blasted were-rats in the sewers. 2, these rocks, I'm not entirely sure what they are. There seem to be some sort of corrupted magic, and that's never a good sign. Seem to be something to do with alchemy. But again, it's not my forte, I'm afraid. Finally, I've managed to get in contact with Leos and Elthanar. He, as I said, will be coming tomorrow night for us to discuss the next steps in dealing with our cultist problem. I've also invited a number of other prominent officials and members of the town council. I'd like you to be present as I explain our expectations and what might be a profitable venture for you and your friend.
Yeah, I think we'll be here for that. Or
Good
I
man.
will be.
Good
Um,
Dragonborn.
Why don't we? I'm going to address the party now as well. So, counting up what everybody's managed to scrape together, we've got 994 gold pieces here. Why don't we give it to Onthar for now, as for safe? What's the word? Do
You could just keep it in your bag of holding.
I could do, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
We've got so we have 994 pieces separated that we'll put together for safekeepings for if we want to save the children.
You speak to Morton behind the bar, and he manages to find you 3 sacks. You place the gold into the 3 different pouches for the different payments for each of the children, and you place them inside the bag of holding. So you've got 3 sacks now, each with 300 gold in, and you've got another sack with, and you've got another sort of sack, which 4 sacks then, and another sack which only has about 90.
Yeah, let's go 94 gold pieces. Out of character quickly, I'll just say, can everybody just make a note of what you've put in?
Sorry?
I'll just out of character, I'll say to everyone, if they just make a quick note of what they put in, so that if we do come up with an alternative, you can get your gold and stuff back.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you're all preparing and getting ready to move on, I'm afraid, and with our last declaration, that we're going to have to end our session today. Sorry, I know it's not the most exciting way to end the session. I know we haven't done a lot of fighting around this time, but there's been some really good RP and some really good discussions going on, and fallout from Vistra's vicious attack being dealt with.
Oh, it was so funny.
I'm sorry that we have to end today on this note. I'm so tired, and I'm falling asleep a little bit here at the table. It's 2:00 in the morning for us now, and I'm nearly coming up to my 24-hour mark of being awake. So
Been there.
I'm afraid I'm gonna have to end it here. I'm afraid because I'm absolutely shattered.
Thank you,
But
DM. That was really
I'm
funny.
sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is good. I'm sorry I wasn't more present.
I enjoyed it. It was amazing.
Yeah,
It was
fun.
funny.
We got a new party member.
You'll continue with us. We will get into more fighting and doom and death sooner or later, but we have to deal with the fallout from Vistra's vicious attack, which is what it will be known as, Vistra's vicious victimization of Gertrude.
Oh, hardy ha ha.
She's now our enemy. Written out.
Will, are we gonna have you? Will, are we gonna see the turtle next week? Is he happy?
Oh yeah, of
I don't
course.
like the science.
Yeah. Oh
no. We put him off now. Awesome. Thank you everyone for playing. Thank you to the DM. That was really fun. It screams. I love the picture in stream. If people need to go, that's fair enough. I just want to do a couple of announcements, but if you need to go because you've got work and stuff, then obviously that's totally cool. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you to our Patreons. Thank you to our very own Basis of Operations, our very own Pelham, our wonderful fan, Plutonium OD, who is awesome. Thank you again for sharing in the tapestry for your miniature figure. That was so cool. And also thank you very much to our current subs, Kaelthin and Kai. We really appreciate your support, and thank you very much to Campfire Quest for your beautiful raid and some of the follows. Thank you. A couple of so now I'm gonna do a couple of announcements. Next Monday I am gonna be starting for novices regular one-shots that won't be streamed because I think that's more comfortable. That's gonna help for novices who want to learn how to play D&D 5e, along with how to play Roll20, just to sort of help bring more people into the game. And once you're comfortable and you feel like you've learned what you've needed, or if you ever want to come back, that's totally cool. But we want to help, keep the door open and allow more people to find more awesome games and feel comfortable playing. From the 31st of March, which would be Tuesdays, there will then be standard one-shots that will be streamed. Same sort of idea with the games. And then currently, as you already know, on Fridays we have got our Horde of the Dragon Queen, thanks to our wonderful DM Xanny, or Storm Meeple, and our wonderful tech guy mod. I'm gonna keep feeding the ego again to bases. Yeah, it's gonna explode. And then tomorrow, which has started since last Saturday, will be Curse of Strahd. And
Nice.
so yeah, and that'll be me DMing that, and currently I'll be DMing the Mondays and the Tuesdays as well. If any DMs wants to help out and do more one shots with us, with their own timetable, or want to help with the novice one shots, helping, interactively teach through playing games, you are more than welcome. So yeah, definitely feel free to get in contact with us.
Yeah, at some point I'll be doing I don't mind running I've got a one shot that I can run a few times for new players. It's a silly little adventure involving cats. So I can run a one shot every so often with some new players if they want to run through a silly adventure.
Yeah.
I'd
That's
love to
awesome.
too, but I don't really have much 5e experience. I might want to be a player in some of the one-shots.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wonderful. That's really cool. But yeah, everything will be in the RP server, because we split the Meeple Palace because it was getting too chaotic with all the channels for everything. It was just too many. So hopefully this works. RP TMP. Let's see if I actually remember how I do my own RP. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, Pete
Fantastic.
Server, there
So
we go.
that is the link. That is the link. All the roles are connected by simple images, and in the categories they are linked by the same image. So for example, fire is the standard one shot. So you'll see that there's a fire in the category. So it's a very quick way, but they're all labeled as well, so it's no problem. But yeah, thank you very, very much, and yeah, thank you all, and yeah, it was really cool to see the turtle. I'm sorry they kept getting watermarks from cups.
You're good. Actually, Kitten,
Mhm.
question.
Sure.
Your Curse of Strahd game, does it start at the same time this one does?
Yes.
Well, if you'd be willing to have me, you have yourself another player.
Wow. Okay, so that'll go from 8 players to 9 because Xander's just joined.
Wow.
Dude.
So,
Yeah, I'd like to take
if
that.
any of
I'd like to
you
take a-
folks at home want to see a DM just completely melt
And
down
what's he-
every time combat starts, come and watch Curse of Strahd tomorrow.
Oh god, I might as well. Just
Wow.
if I at all I'm going to do that, I'm going to have to create a character that's just quick in combat. That does. I don't want to make a barbarian.
Wow. Okay. I can you let me think about that because I need to know if I can actually manage 9 players. I mean,
Yeah.
technically we've got one player that because of his wonderful selfless job, he won't always be around. So then that'll bring it to 8.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I'm not sure if my other player will be there or not. Last time they had to work, so I'm not sure. So then that might be so. So it could
Otherwise,
still
it's
be
just-
8 generally. So
Otherwise, it's just an angry mob coming for Strahd.
Yeah, and
Yes,
to our
us
lovely
Strahd.
viewers,
Just
I'd
make
like
them all
to-
commoners, arm them all with pitchforks and torches, and tell them to go.
Exactly.
and to our lovely viewers, I'd also like to say, when it comes to Curse of Strahd, I have a special loathing for everything that involves the story arc of that character. So if I were
I
to
know.
join, you
It's still the same
understand.
level of swearing, by the way, for Curse of Strahd.
I promise
Alright.
I can keep it PG-13 with my language.
Thank you.
With my
Thank you.
violence, it might be another case.
Bye.
Wow.
Good night.
Well,
this is
violence is more
D&D.
towards like 16. So to be fair, I'm not so bad with the violence. It's more the swearing. But yeah, cool. Let me have a think about that because I need to manage and work out what the hell if I can. But yes,
Okay.
thank you very much though. That is so cool that more people want to join. That's
Yeah.
really
And all the viewers, I'd like to say to all the viewers who have been watching and the raid, thank you very much for that. If you want to get involved, and even if you don't want to play D&D, jump on the TMP server, and we love sharing geek culture across every fandom and just generally just geeking out with each other. So make sure you join our server, and if you do any artwork or if you make things or if you want to just show off your fancy stuff, then get involved with the tapestry that we show during our streams.
Last thing, because I almost forgot, we also have a miniature painting competition, which I'm going to put up here. So yeah, that started from the start of November last year, and it will finish on the end of February. And basically, you can click on the information that's in that link. The idea is that on the 29th of February, all entries will be voted. Okay, on the 1st of March, we will do a live winner announcement. That winner will receive a painted miniature from our founder and lovely DM, Xander, Storm Meeple, along with being on the winner's wall. The specs for that is that it can be any miniature, any terrain that you want, but the color scheme must include pink, green, and gold. Okay, it can have other colors as well, but those are the three prime colors. And the themes is ancient and Asian. Okay, and then at the start of March, we will then do another 3-month competition with 2 new rolled themes and 3 new colors. And yeah, we've already got one person that's actually given their entry already, and we really can't wait to see and hopefully have more people entering and just seeing what amazing concepts you come up with. So yeah, thank you. And that is it. I swear to God, that is the last announcement that I'm gonna do. But
And
yeah,
one more
thank
thing.
you
No,
guys.
I'm joking.
You beat me to it.
Drat. But seriously, thank you all very, very much. And I'm gonna say goodnight now. I will find someone to raid, so please stay in the stream, and we will find someone to raid. But other than that, we can jump to the end stream.
All right.
So
All right.
yeah,
Bye, folks.
Bye, guys.
I'll see you
Take
next week.
care.
Catch you later.
yeah.
Hi everyone, I'll work
You're all
character
beautiful.
and I'll see you all
Bye.
next week. I'm gonna go stream later on, and you all have a good week. I'll see you next week. Hopefully.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right.
Happy